here on earth, in it but not of it, coming and going, ebb and flowing. You see, Yah was a queen first, giving birth to the universe, the earth, heavens, and all in between, making truth of the unseen, magical beings like unicorns and mermaids, you know. Under the sea, darling, it's better, down where it's wetter, take it from me. What if? What if when my love multiplies, there is no law of the land, laws of the man, no hate, just fans, the fantasy real, but the real disillusion. All patriarchies die, and all dogs don't go to heaven, but most kitties do, 'cause they have 9 lives to try and always land on their feet. Now, what if all I could see was us in your hands, the plan to expand consciousness, contract love, and yet expand again, the rhythms of heartbeats, the Big Bang, over and over and over and over and over and over again. What if when every time my eyes kiss your skin, the breath you felt whispered desires in between the moments of pleasure, the touch you felt elevated your collar, moons touching home deep within you to that spot. You know that spot, deep near your heart that can't sleep at home alone, that spot that makes your soul yearn to express deep down in your gut, where not to impress you but to undress you in the facade of your imagination of not wanting to be you here, finally free, and me finally inside you, we like the sea, inception. What if you like me for me? And not for what I could be, but just as I am. And what if she could love you like I can, but not as her man? And I mean, what if we just didn't give a damn? Could we be? What if? Peace. Love. Mr. Doja. Fern. Get this, but we gon' have to move, get the business. If we to do it before time is missing, y'all gon' have to ride, y'all gon' have to die for this future. We gon' have to drive for this, freaking fly for this, seek and try for this movement. Hustle love, shoulder rubs. If you think you love, change yourself for what's to come. Now I'm speaking love. I don't even know what are we doing, yeah. Hey, peace and love, how do we do it? Yeah, we gotta rise for life, so we gonna rise for life. The people must change their conditions without their permission. Peace and love's the mission. Slow down, don't rush. I'm here to bring the peace, but I'm prepared to bust. I said, slow down, don't rush. We're here to bring the love, but don't make me cuss. I said, slow down, don't rush. I'm here to bring the peace, but I'm prepared to bust. I said, slow down, don't rush. We're here to bring the love, but don't make me cuss. I said, know that there's peace and love up in these streets, yeah. Even though late at night they show the opposite of what you see, yeah. What you see, yeah. Ain't everything that's in the hood ain't all bad. See, it's a lot of good. You got to change the way that you see this world. Peace and love where we be at. I don't really know what are we doing. Hey, peace and love, how we do it. We got to rise for life, so we gonna rise for life. The people must change their conditions without their permission. Is the mission, yeah. Mission, yeah. Mission, yeah. Mission, yeah. Peace and love is where it's at, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. salam. Salam, shalom.
All right. Lovers and friends, we're getting started here in a little bit. Just jamming to some music.
She's so fine.
Very fine, my friend.
Indeed.
Indubitably. Melissa's here.
It ain't much to do.
It
don't matter. It don't matter. Baby, please. Queen. Excuse me, Queen. I love you. Queen. Excuse me. Queen. Queen, excuse me. As long as you stay with me, we can be a family. We can change, raise the family tree. We can laugh, let the family be.
You was who I came to see. Light skin, brown eyes, you an angel to me. To be with you, I will climb the highest peak. Sunshine, blue waves, and the sand on our feet.
Don't where we be at matter, where the seas at. We can be forever, shift vibes like the seasons. Summer, winter, fall, the love, and then the spring back. Take the top of the body off, like use a Maybach.
The love that I give to you, I never take back. Cause we go back like 4 flats on a Cadillac. I will always hold you down, and that's a true fact. Believe that.
My love is for you. My love
All right. Peace, family. We here.
Peace.
We made it.
Peace.
For another Lovers and Friends. I'm your host, the Mr. Doja. I've got my co-host here, Miss Melissa. Where are you? Are you out there?
I'm right here. Can you see me?
Yes. And we got some other beautiful people from around the country on the call with us. I'd like to introduce to you guys. Should I start it? Should I start with an introduction?
Yes. Okay, yeah.
All right.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. We have Kateria with us. And, I'm going to let you all do the introductions and share more about yourself because we're actually first meeting, brand new as well. And I know, Kateria, you're an astrologer. Yes. And you're going to share a little bit more about that with us later, too. And Kaikuji, you are a musician. You're a singer-songwriter, right? And so I will give you guys the floor and the space to share a little bit more about what you got going on.
Let me go first, because if you give it to Kuji, we gonna stay on his for the whole night. Yo, let me go, because Kuji had us up until right now. So I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. I'm trying to share it, but let me go on ahead. We here. So, hi everyone. My name is Kateria. Kateria knows I don't know all things. I do know some things. I am an astrologer, and I am also the creator and founder of the Real Family Reunion, Return of the Gods. It is a royal celebration celebrating the great awakening that is taking place on planet Earth that won't happen for another 25,000 years from now. I'll be sharing more on the Real Family Reunion, Return of the Gods, after I tell these people why monogamy is the way.
Hey, there it is. Give it up.
Yeah.
How do you top that, Kuji?
Right. How do you follow that? You know what I mean? I'm like, hi, my name is Kuji. Thank you guys for coming out. You know what I mean? Right. Thank you, Kateria. Thank you for setting the tone.
You're very welcome, King, because I know you are that.
Yes, bless.
I'm Kikuji Chagalia, better known as Kuji for those that know and love me. I really don't know how to even follow after, Kateria's just masterful introduction. But I am a singer-songwriter, born and raised on the west side of Chicago, currently living in ATL, Georgia. I'll be share more about my music later on after I explain to you guys why non-monogamy is the way.
Hey! Oh, I feel a competition coming on. I feel some competition. This is gonna be fun, y'all.
Actually, Kateria, but you don't technically qualify. I mean, you're gonna be arguing non-monogamy, but you have some experience, right? I mean, you're gonna be arguing monogamy, but you have some experience with non-monogamy, so you actually have a very unique experience.
Thank you.
So, I'm excited about it.
Polymonogamous.
Thank you. Right.
The polymonogamous.
With y'all, I had so much fun with y'all last night. I'm ready to get into this tonight.
I know, right? I did. I've been waiting on it all day.
Should we just jump in?
Yeah. I mean,
you had it on yesterday.
I say we almost about to start the competition portion. You're already. I was like, let's go. But I really just want to, just thank y'all for being here and, being able to relay your story, who you guys are, and how you love and what friendship means to you and relationships and all those dynamics. So, I mean, who do we start with? I mean, I think I'm gonna shift it over to Kat. Kat.
Yeah.
Who are you? How do you feel about love and life and light in your world?
I didn't freeze or anything. That's just like a very big question to answer. I'm just like, where do I start? I mean, gosh, can we slow the question down?
Slow it down.
Slow it down. How do you?
Yeah. Well, how about this?
Coochie trying to clown.
I didn't think nobody heard that.
Well, I mean, how about this? Because you're an astrologer, so how do the stars connect to love and life in your world? Like what? And I mean, in everybody's world, really, because I mean, I'm a crazy person. My wife, she's pretty crazy too. And I've done a little research about our star alignment, and it makes sense what we go through every day. But I don't know the intricacies of what that all means. I just kind of say, yeah, I kind of understand. She's a Cancer. She likes to be in her shell. I'm a Gemini. I'm crazy.
Now he just wants a reading. Now you want me to give you a reading because I'm about to give you a full reading on that.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. Because y'all going through some words. Y'all got the eclipses hitting y'all in the face. Okay. Anyhow. Okay, love is so many different things, you know what I'm saying? But when we talk about love from a romantic space, love to me there's so many different things. So you have many different types of love. You can have someone that you are in a romantic relationship with, and that person is teaching you how to love, you know what I'm saying? Right. Or you can have love in a particular romantic situation after having grown a lot, evolved a lot in your life, and their mirror reflecting the greatest parts of you, back into your life. And when it comes to partnership, though, I mean, love is too broad for me to,
because there's really so many types of love. Okay, yeah.
But when it comes to partnership and relationships, I see partnerships and relationships as we're teammates in reality. And reality is already tough enough for one person. So now when you come into a partnership and you both think differently, you can come together as friends and as team players to assist each other in the trials and tribulations that life may throw at you. But it doesn't always have to be trials and tribulations. Just someone that you could celebrate victories with, And I see partnerships, I see families as teams. And you have to understand that one win for your teammate is a win for the whole team. So you want to help your teammate become the greatest version and greatest expression of themselves. But you also want to allow them to do the same to you and learn to not take, offense to everything and be so guarded about things, because then you won't have true transparency to really truly connect with the inner being. You end up dealing with all that disguise. We only have of the ego. You only have either love or fear. And when you're hiding and guarding yourself, you're dealing on fear. And anytime, and fear and love don't occupy the same space. So when you're dealing with fear, you're blocking the love that would otherwise come into your life. So that's how, just to sum it up real quick.
What are the parts, the elements, the factors?
Hold on. Somebody is clapping and saying amazing, but they're on IG right now. That's lit. I screenshotted it too.
I was trying to see how we going live, how to go live.
Yeah, she be multitasking over there though.
See, I don't have that set up either. I was just asking, what are the parts, the elements, the factors that you consider when you think about monogamous partnerships? Because you're team monogamous. That's what we're here for. You are team monogamous, representing that. So what are the elements and the factors? Is it time? Is it energy? Is it attraction? Is it what? Tell me more about that part.
When it comes into me choosing monogamy over other relationship types, yeah. I mean, there's so many factors for me to choose monogamy. First of all, let me start first. I have a lot to do in my life. I have a huge job on planet Earth. Yes. I do not have the time to cultivate this relationship, in that relationship, and save lives, and read books, and learn new languages. I am trying to cut people off now. I cannot. And am I going to breathe for me? I don't want everybody in my vagina. I like it to be to itself. Excuse my expression. And, and I don't like to play patty cake with everybody. And that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't have the time. And I also like my energy to myself. I'm an empath. I'm a major empath. So I process everything. I'm processing everything that's happening in the world. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now I got to process this man and that man and this man and all the women they done slept with and they daddy issues and they mama issues. I don't got time for that.
Nobody got time.
I only have space for one other person in my life to share my life with. And when it came, and also a major thing on a deeper soul level, I love very intensely. I mean, I throw Return of the Gods for Pete's sake, an event for my community. So you could imagine what I would do for my king. Right. Like, I want to pour everything into him. I want to learn everything about him. You know what I'm saying? I want to watch him grow and blossom. I'm one of those people that will listen to one song for 13 hours straight for 6 months straight. I'm still listening to Sonique's song from the early 2000s. It feels so good. You feel me? Like, yo. So I don't got time to deal with. I'm going to love one person really intensely, really deeply, give them my all. Right. And that's going to take a lifetime. By the time I'm ready, that I've done studied this whole universe of a being, I'm going to be gone. It's going to take my whole life to study me. So if I'm studying me and learning everything about me, and then I study this other person, then I got children and businesses and so many ideas. No, I have no time for an extra person in my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack.
Yeah.
You give it what? What's that? One for monogamy. We're going to go one for
No, give me like 50.
Time. I mean, time is a real, that one's real. I don't have much to say against time.
Right.
She just broke up with her other boyfriend, y'all.
That's real. That's real.
I ain't got no time for you. Ain't nobody got time for that.
But it brings up this idea that, about non-monogamy, as I think we talked about this last time, of like non-monogamy being kind of like who you are versus what you do, or who you're with, or how many partners you have, or
right.
And so that's something to talk about too, that I think is kind of a misconception about non-monogamy. I think Kuji, you could probably speak to that.
I think honestly, for an individual that has that much going on, monogamy. I mean, I think monogamy would be a better suited love dynamic, love style.
Right.
Because it does take time to cultivate relationships, especially if you're working on self, because we're continuously growing. So we always should be working on ourselves. Right. So if we're continuously growing and learning ourselves and having that time to try to become our higher selves, having that individual person, I can see that being a little bit more than what someone can chew, but when you don't have all that going on and you desire to have those type of dynamics, then it becomes a lot easier. It becomes about time management, because the saying is you make time for the things that you want. And I'm a firm believer in that, and that's where that time management comes into play. Because really polyamory, all it is more, is having the capacity to love, the capacity and the desire to love more than one person simultaneously where everyone knows. So if you have the capacity and you know that you have the capacity and you want to explore that capacity, then yeah, polyamory is definitely for you. But I think the original question that you asked, I just want to try to make sure I speak on that too, was what do we think love is, or what was that question again?
What was the question? Are you talking about the question I asked?
The original question that about what love. The original question for Kateria.
I think it was on
about what love is.
About what love is. Yeah. And she said something that was really interesting to me. She said love is a lot of different things, and I believe that love is so many things and not at the same time. Love is what we do, love is what we share, love is what we say, and sometimes it's nothing at all, because it's not physical, it's not tangible in a sense, but it can be depending on what your love language is as well. If that's that what is it, gift giving, right. that love becomes tangible at that particular time. Right. But love is just so many different things. And for me, love is more of a purpose, or more of a driving motivation for me when I'm connecting with multiple people. Like I said, because I am team non-monogamy polyamory. So, for me, love is just being able to share that time, that affection, that intimacy with someone. Love is being there mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually with someone or someone's. Love, like you said, love can be so many different things, but I just wanted to give my perspective on that answer before I forgot it.
I love how pure you talk about it and also expansive, and because I think, again, I don't want to make it about monogamy, non-monogamy, but sometimes in the monogamous culture, there's this idea of like that relationship escalator thing, that in order to be considered a relationship, you go through these levels or these like kind of linear stages. But and when we talk about time, like you can have a deep, a really deep, intimate relationship with somebody and not necessarily have to, go on for years developing the relationship. That's how I see it. I don't know. Do you guys?
No, I agree with you. For me, I view that part as more so as me loving without attachment. And some people are like, well, what is that? How do you love someone without attachment? And for me, what that means, and many people may not agree with this, but this is for me. Loving without attachment means that my love doesn't require you to love me back. My love doesn't require you to stay with me for the rest of your life. My love allows that space for you to come and go as you desire, because you may love me now and may not love me next week, because of your experiences, because of the things that you may experience, do in life. So you may not feel that same intimacy and affection for me. So my love is freeing, and that's what polyamory is for me. Love is a freedom. Love shouldn't be restricted and say that you are mine. You can't go no place. You can't love anyone else. You can't even go too far off, to the left or the right without me. Right. No, my love says, hey, go wherever you need to go in life. And I'm right here. Whenever you need to come back, we'll take it from there,
right. Because I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, because I love you. Because I love you. My little Lenny Williams kicked in, right?
Yeah, man.
We talked about you possibly being a coach or something like that. So for somebody like Kateria, who talks about energy, like, energy being like a very precious resource, like how would you, if Kateria happened to be interested in non-monogamy, what kind of advice?
Drink that one right quick. No.
He said, let me get a sip real quick. Hold on. She set me up. Me too.
But you know what though? So it's interesting that you asked that though, Melissa, because so for me, I'm very much attracted to the wilder woman, the freer woman anyway. So when women that are more wild, they usually have a lot of stuff going on in life. They usually have a lot of, businesses. They have a lot of obligations that keep them from romantic ships. Whatever. And the reason why I say romantic ships, meaning whether it's a sexual relationship, dating, situationship, whatever it is, And so for me, I counter that a lot. But that's where my loving without attachment comes into place, because it means that I require very little. Like, I wouldn't need you to call me every day and say, oh, I was just thinking about you. Or seeing me every day. They'd be like, hey, I'm busy. I'm handling this. And I'm going to be supportive. I'm going to say, okay, have you done this? These are the goals you set out this week. Have you accomplished those particular goals? Oh, okay, you did? All right, well, I'll talk to you a little later, or we hang out, kick it, patty cake, as you call it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we move forward. But from the energy standpoint, I think, for me, I look at it a little differently than I think that she would, because for me, I operate on energy and vibration as well, but I look at it a little differently. If I'm not resonating with them and they're not resonating with me, I wouldn't even be engaging romantically with them in the first place. So, but if Kateria decides she wants to be non-monogamous at some point in time, no, I'm just joking.
He said, he's like, I hate y'all. He's like, I hate y'all. Y'all set me up.
Wow. No, I can't wait.
I love it.
I cannot wait to respond.
Yeah, respond. I have some questions lined up for you, Kateria, but if you want to respond, because I know that was a whole lot, please do.
Well, there was something that he said at the very end that I wanted to just respond to, but it came and it went. Anyways, I took some notes on some other stuff. Excuse my humanness.
No, you good, y'all. We just chilling. That's the beautiful thing about this. We literally just chilling, having conversation and stimulating discussion. I'm just learning.
It's gonna come back up because it was one of my vital points. It was so it's gonna come back up. But let me look at this.
I'm nervous now.
Right. She said, "Oh, you ain't ready."
Okay. So first of all,
love it.
Who starts a conversation like that? Okay, but no, seriously, fam, you said I could get off this call after this. You said polyamory is for less ambitious people, bruh.
Oh.
I was done right there.
What happened?
No.
Yes.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You said if somebody has as much going on as me, you can understand.
I can understand why. But polyamorous.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
You said, and we got this recorded, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. We're gonna run it back. Cool. We're gonna run the tape back.
Cool. So I took notes. Okay. You said, well, I could understand someone like Kateria, taking the monogamous route, because if you have that much going on in your life, it does make sense that you would choose monogamy and be with one person. Okay, something along them lines.
Yeah.
Right there, fam. Easy. I don't want anybody who's less ambitious than me. It's done. It's done.
No, I agree with you on that.
Let me stop. I got a lot of Aries in my chart. I'm not actually really this competitive. This is just how I'm talking.
We ain't even started the games yet. She's like, but I got
you. They laughing hard on here.
It's love, though. It's love.
No, it is. But I wasn't saying that one should be unambitious by any means. That's not the point that I was making. Right. I was saying I could see how someone would choose monogamy if they have that much going on in their life. Right. Not saying that they should be less ambitious.
Then you said the women that do be polyamorous don't have so much to do.
Don't have what? Much to do.
I was saying.
I like how you're putting bits and pieces and making a claim.
I'm gonna run this back though.
Women, you say usually got the giggles. You say usually the women that Monzel just sitting there blowing.
Oh yeah, this.
I'm sorry. You know how it is when you catch the giggles.
No, okay. You're good.
You said, excuse my humanness again. You said women that are poly, they tend to not have that much going on in their life, so they have time for a relationship and we gonna have to stop this
recording
now. Run it back.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna play that back. That's not what I said.
That's that was your interpretation. Nevertheless, that was your interpretation of it.
Let's ask the audience.
Yeah, but that's your audience though. So they may.
Let's ask the whole audience.
Yeah, because that's not what I said. I didn't say.
Victoria, I have a question for you. So, let's see. I lost my question now. Damn it! It was right there. So,
y'all smoke too much.
Right.
What y'all sipping on?
Not me. No.
I'm caught up in her giggles.
It's all good.
I got lost in her giggles. My question was going to be around how oftentimes the conversation is monogamous versus non-monogamous, and how there's kind of this narrative going around about, people are naturally non-monogamous. And I know you mentioned that you don't think that that's true. How do you?
I don't think that's true.
That people are naturally non-monogamous.
So let me clear that up. And so some things that I may have stated may have gotten misconstrued. And if I did misconstrue any of your words, Coogi, I do apologize. But I do want us to play back, and I will apologize in advance. But you're gonna have to apologize back. So let me answer the beautiful queen's question.
Yes. No.
I don't believe that all people were born monogamous naturally within themselves.
Okay.
I don't. I believe that I was. I know that I was. Now, but I also don't think that all people are born non-monogamous either. I think that some people are literally monogamous and some are non-monogamous in their functioning. I believe that you can do non-monogamy and all of that type of stuff if you choose to, as long as it's done righteously and you're open and honest about it. I think it's a beautiful thing. I wish I was non-monogamous. I just am not non-monogamous. And this takes me back to that point that I had wanted to make. I am really not attracted to people. When I'm dealing with one person, even when I just like one person, no one else is attractive to me. Period. Just, it's like too mad. I don't know what it is.
Would that be
and I could do poly.
Would that be like, it's time for my scientific words. Would that be like monosexual?
I like that.
It feels right. I don't know.
Monosexual,
right? Like he's only one.
Is that and is that type?
Yeah.
Is that specific? That sounds like it's specific to like sexual or romantic attraction or connection. But like, what about love? Because we were talking about all the different types of love, right? Mm-hmm. So what about love in friendships and like deep friendships? Do you feel?
I love everybody on the planet dearly. I love each and every one of you. I love all people on the planet because all people are literally a reflection of who I am. It's me dancing with my mind on earth. Exactly. And every single being has the creator dwelling within its being. And I love the creator thoroughly. So I'm going to love all of its creations, even if its creations get on my nerves. The creator style, I'd be like, that was hecka whack, yo. Right. I did not like that. Even to the creator, you feel me? So, to answer that. But me, on a personal level, when I am in a relationship with someone, I only have enough energy for one person in a relationship. All my goodies be shut off to other people naturally. And mind you, I've been offered to do polyandry, which is the relationship type where a woman is dating two men and these two men know, or more men, plural. I just dated two men at one time myself. But, and they are, just in a relationship with her. Okay, I did this relationship. That would be my ultimate if I was to do anything poly. And it just wasn't cool to me because it wasn't passionate enough. And I need intense passion. When I hear certain things in regards to poly, I hear, the non-attachment, and that's cool. I even date with a non-attached style. Like, I'm not going to be extremely clingy, but I'm going to love you and I'm going to adore your life simultaneously. And I'm going to dedicate parts of myself to this union with you. So, but when it comes to I forgot what I was saying with that one. I was gonna just repeat myself again. I was gonna be redundant, but that's how I feel. Like I don't even want too many people in that particular area in my life at a time. No, and it's just a natural thing. Like it's weird too, and I get people doubting me, even friends. Like, how are you not? I could find people attractive. I can look at a guy and be like, yeah, he's handsome, but I don't know. I guess I'm too up here too. Like I got a lot of activity in the lower chakras when it's necessary, but I'm too like here. So I could love somebody and find them to be an amazing person, an intelligent person, a talented person, but that's not going to take me to that area. I need an emotional connection with a person for my waters to flow. Emotion and water are both ruled by Cancer, which also rules comfort and the moon and, connection and all of those types of things. And another thing is that Pluto astrologically rules Scorpio, which rules sex and which rules death, rebirth, and things that are sacred and things that are private. So for me, being in a relationship with one person and we have the sexual connection, just us together in a sexual connection, I'm upholding to that sacredness of Scorpio energy. So I do feel like, and I know that poly relationships can still be deemed as sacred. I see Kuji taking notes. Okay. I can see how, okay, I'm about to be done. Excuse me.
No, you're good.
But I can see how, a poly relationship could be sacred because the poly relationship I was in, I don't know if I should say that plural or if it's already plural. It was sacred. It was sacred to me. But there was just that one thing that I loved too much about the other person. It was that passionate energy. And it's just like, when I have that, I don't even want nothing else. Like I ended up leaving one of my partners to be exclusively with one because I want to go too deep with a person. So that's what happened to me.
If I can say something, you mentioned at one point the detachment aspect, or the loving without attachment aspect, and you also followed it by saying that you need passion. And I definitely wanted to make sure that I mentioned, polyamory is definitely not void of passion by any means. I know you did mention that, it can't be sacred also, but I just wanted to make sure I clarify when I say that I love without attachment. It doesn't mean that I don't love without commitment.
Right.
Attachment to me is possessive, the way that I view it. It's more that this is mine. No one else can have this.
Right.
So I love in a more freeing way, and I look at that as me being non-attached that way, but able to be committed completely, to more than one particular person. Because a lot of people think that polyamory is about not having the capacity to commit. When actually it means that we can commit to more than one person for long periods of times. And I enjoy that aspect. I enjoy having more than one person that I'm committed to because I do have the capacity to do so, sharing my life journey with them. So I definitely enjoy that. One other thing you mentioned too, you didn't say anything against this, but I just want to touch bases on it. Polyamory isn't always about a sexual connection either. There are plenty of non-sexual polyamorous relationships or dynamics, with people. And I'm not just saying more of a platonic connection, but a romantic connection that just doesn't involve that sexual intimacy. So, and I've had plenty of connections like that as well, that never manifested into a sexual relationship, but it was still that love, still that passion and that desire to be around that individual, and it's still just as beautiful to me, so yeah, those are the only two things that I want to say.
Those are just deep friendships to me, by the way.
But any relationship is a deep friendship, really.
Right.
It should be. That's the basis of it.
That's the point of them.
A business relationship, a friendship, a family relationship. All of those. It starts deeper. Yeah, everything starts on that friendship. Because you can not like your family members, your siblings, and not have a friendship and never talk to your siblings. So every relationship is based on. Well, I'll say this for Kikuji Chagalia. Any romantic or sexual relationship that I have has to be grounded in a solid foundation of friendship. That has to be established before we can even build onto anything else. Because at the end of the day, I value friendship more than anything. Right. So when if we transition from lovers to friends, then we can still maintain that friendship, even though we've had this, dynamic sexual history,
What about transitioning from friends to lovers? What's the difference, Kateria? Because you had mentioned like you felt like that was a deep friendship, so kind of countering.
Yes. I mean, I got time for that. When I'm in a relationship, it's like literally speaking two different languages. When I'm in a relationship, I have no like intimate feelings for anybody. And maybe we see intimacy differently. I cannot touch another man ever if I'm in a relationship with one man and be completely fine with that. But I have friends, male friends, where I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? What's up? What's happening? And they look like Ken dolls to me. They don't got nothing going on down there. I have no connection to them sexually.
I'm gonna say, Kat, that's disturbing. Because Ken dolls, that's just not right. They don't even give nothing. No dingleberries, nothing.
Fun. You know what? To be honest, I feel like I be having more intimate relationships, friendships with women than men. And I did used to date women too, and I was a whole man. I didn't even say stud, I said man. So
I was a whole man.
A whole man. But like I have female friends that I would hug and like, oh my gosh, sis, I can't believe it. Oh, can I cuddle with you? I'm like one of those girly girls, but some man, I'm like, no, I don't want you touching me. I have a man taking care of that part.
That is interesting.
That's an interesting question.
So I'm a hugger. I just am. Everyone, that knows me, if you were to enter into the poly community, you would hear one of the main things, could you have amazing hugs? I love hugging. So for me to even meet a sister, you know what I'm saying, like someone I consider, so when I meet you, hey, come here, I might grab you and hug you, kind of, if that is consented first and foremost. I definitely do everything with consent. But
right.
I find that interesting because a couple of years ago, I was having a conversation with a young lady, and we were talking about compliments and women receiving compliments, and how she was like, well, listen, I don't want a compliment from men. I don't want it unless it's someone that I'm talking to. Like, I don't welcome your compliments. How most guys are like, hey, you're beautiful. And that conversation with her and I made me think. It was like, hey, I need to start asking, hey, do you mind if I pay you a compliment? Is that okay with you? Because it just, I never even thought about that, until like what you're saying now is the same. It's like, damn, I need to, are you okay with me giving you a hug? Upon meeting you, what I'm saying?
Yeah, I am okay with getting hugs and I'm okay with getting compliments, but I'm saying I could go without getting a hug.
Oh, okay.
From another man. I'm not saying, no, I said I have homies and I can hug them like, what's up, fam? What's up, bro? But like, let me cuddle with you, and I just want to tell you what happened. I do that with my homegirls.
I got you. I think okay, so I must have misconstrued. I thought when you were saying I can't touch another guy, you meant more sexually touched than I can't hug him in that month.
Yeah. I don't want when I'm in a relationship, I don't want no other man trying to touch me sexually.
Gotcha.
No, at all. I could hug you if I'm in a relationship. Yeah, I'm gonna hug my bro. Like, hey, what's up? You see me hugging people at Return to the Gods all day. If my man got a problem with me hugging people, then he's insecure. You know what I'm saying? He's hecka insecure. I don't need nobody but I can't, I don't need to get hugged by men or anything. I don't need it. I will do it if I feel like it, but it's not something I need.
I got you. I just misconstrued what you were saying. So I thought we were the friend aspect, but you were speaking more of a sexual aspect. But I got it. But I can see that though, because my wife, I remember I used to ask her when we first opened up our marriage, and I would be like, hey, you find that guy attractive? That's somebody. And she's like, if I don't even have that connection with, I don't even see them, and I'm like, how is that? Because me, I'm the complete opposite.
See everything.
I'm like,
my eyes work.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, she just don't know. But so it always baffles me, the differences between people. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even think that's just a monogamous mind. That's just people. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's interesting to me.
Right.
I don't know. I'm probably caught up into my person so much.
Yeah.
because I do value myself, and I think that I'm highly dope and intelligent. Dope. And I do think that I'm very beautiful.
Yes.
And whoever I mirror reflect to myself, they're going to be just dynamic to me because I love myself so much. So for me, it's like a rising into a vortex of love with this one human for that amount of time we're together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is. And I promise you, I wish I could be poly, because it would make life a lot easier. And the thing about it,
I wonder, is there a way to be like, maybe you're polyamorous with yourself and another? Because you love. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. But feel me, I'm a scientist now.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sitting like, wait a minute,
right? Because you love yourself. You said it. You have so much time to explore yourself in this lifetime, in life force, and there's so many aspects of you that you're probably still learning about, whether it's in business, in loving people, that you don't have time for more than one person, right? So you're really only seeking that twin spirit. You don't have time for any divisions of that.
None. I like, for real, I sing, I dance, I paint, I draw.
Yeah, you host festivals.
I'm learning Spanish, and I want to learn 5 other languages.
And you're a mama.
And I have so many books.
Right, and a mama.
She's raising human beings as well.
Yo, and I'm raising humanity. Bam.
So it makes sense. I just scientifically.
And then,
Panamaniwea.
Okay, and let me just say this. I'm not going to act like I'm a holier than thou woman at all, okay? You talking to a woman who got mileage like a Fleetwood Brougham 1985 Cadillac, all right? It got to a point where, like, okay, well, I understand what this activity is. It's great. I can settle for just one because it gets redundant. Like, oh, yeah, y'all say the same stuff. And it's just like, I could have heard this from them. Not to say, don't get me wrong, I've had the most dynamic partners, but I just get it. Like, okay, that's great. It's fantastic. It's the funnest activity on planet Earth. But I can have fun doing that activity with one person.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many, like, we don't even need to be doing that all the time. Like, if I'm married to a person and for a year in the marriage, we're not really doing that. 2 years, 3 years. Okay, I'm studying Swahili now. I'm getting back into art. I'm building a business. I'm purifying myself and doing vaginal rejuvenation stuff. I'm hanging out with my friends. I go celibate like for 2-3 years at a time now. So if me and my man ain't humping because we not in that space, okay, like, well, I could take a break from some DICK, the stick of life, for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Stick of life is the best stick of life, you know what I'm saying? But I can take a break for a few years.
I love that you say that, though, because that's not really a shared idea. I know there's this narrative about like what sex in a relationship should look like and what makes it unsuccessful. And if there's not sex in a relationship, especially a long-term relationship, then it's no good. Right. And I think that runs pretty strong within the monogamous culture, I think. So where do you think monogamy and non-monogamy overlap or could overlap?
That there's sex involved.
That there's sex involved.
Really, that's it. No, nothing else.
No,
so let me you are a comedian. I was start. Let's start there.
Yeah. You need to add that one to the hat.
You gotta jump. You gotta jump.
You know what's so funny that you would say that, because I get that all the time. People say, if you ever stopped astrology, just get into comedy.
No, dude, don't stop neither. Just do both.
Right. The comedic astrologist.
Do both.
I do when I'm on stage. But my sister says that I should have became a boxer because I can fight, and she says she wants to see me fight Layla Ali.
You got a nice reach. Like, wow. You got a nice reach, but Layla gonna put you under the ground. So you should not do that. She's tall. She about 252.
You should not do that.
if I trained, in boxing,
we don't,
like Layla did, I would be catching all of them.
Yeah, you'd be catching all the punches. She's out.
Yeah, you ain't seen me.
I'm joking. It's okay, I'm joking. I know you got hands. You got that reach. I see that. You got that reach.
And I got Mars and Aries in the first house.
I'm about to give me a reading.
Right. That part.
Yeah, I need to get on all of that. I'm learning slowly but surely. But
what about you, Kuji? Where do you think they can overlap or already do overlap?
I mean,
hold on, wait, before Kuji answers, that's what I was saying, but we was laughing. I do think that polyamory is a beautiful relationship dynamic, like I said before. And I love the concept of the non-attachment, like letting someone live their life freely. You know what I'm saying? And I think that monogamy and polyamory overlap there, you know, just watching someone live their life and enjoy their experiences. But there's just something between y'all that's sacred.
Right.
So,
yeah. To answer, I think it's an interesting question to answer because every relationship is different. Every couple brings something to that individual couple. Or relationship. So to say where it overlaps, where monogamy and polyamory overlaps, it could be various amount of things where they overlap. They could overlap in friendship. They could overlap in the sexual energies or the kinks that, you know, people, it just depends on what you're asking, I guess. So
okay.
If you could clarify a little bit more what you mean by overlap.
I didn't have anything specific in mind. I was just wondering what you guys would say and come up with. Go ahead. Yeah.
Because I can say that it overlaps in friendship as well. Like, to give you an example, if you guys met my wife, you would see my wife, beautiful person. We are very much night and day. And from skin tone to our personalities, you know, we are very much night and day. I'm a very much extreme extrovert. She's a very much extreme introvert. And we pull each other to the middle and balance each other out. By the way, my wife is a Cancer as well. But we overlap in the friendship area because we chose to learn each other, right? You know, and I honestly say that my wife, I believe, was my soulmate, one of my soulmates, because we have learned to really truthfully love and be there for each other. When we are at odds and not really feeling the love and, you know, can't stand each other and got to text out on our phones to communicate, you know, that friendship that we have, you know, because it overlaps within our polyamorous relationship, you know, we still find those ways to be able to communicate like, hey, you know, she was untied and we laugh and, you know, we right back to, you know, where we started. So I guess if I'm understanding your question correctly, I'm sorry, my baby knocking on the door. Come in. This is my little showstopper.
That's interesting. He said something very specific, but
Baby wants to give me a hug and a kiss you.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he does.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
But on the show, she heard other people, so she wants to be nosy.
She's so excited. She's like, yay.
My bad.
She's like, I'm supposed to be asleep right now.
Man, I told you guys yesterday, my babies, they stay up. And they be like, you working on some music? Let me come in.
Yeah, I want to make some beats.
I want to come talk on the phone to your friend.
Right.
Like, my babies really are me. They really truthfully are. They're their father's child. Yeah. So I love it.
You your daddy's son.
Right.
Yeah, don't let my babies hear you say that. I got all girls.
All girls.
They're gonna be
That's interesting. I got all boys over here on this end.
Really?
Yeah.
Swap out. I'll give you one of mine. And
Actually, I like raising all boys.
I got boys. I got a boy and a girl.
Really?
See,
I'm jealous.
Perfect.
You should be.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
But Kuji, you said something, and hopefully you remember where we were going.
He do not remember.
I always remember.
But you said your wife was one of your soulmates, and that stuck in my head because when I met my wife, I already had that belief, like the concept of a soulmate. Most people think a soulmate's just one person. I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But then I was like, no, if you're in this life, everybody that you connect with is a part of your soul. You know what I mean? Like, and there's only the ones you really have those strong connections, you know, those growth moments. I feel like you can have multiple soulmates, and those soulmates, you may not even spend as much time as you would with your family or who would be considered your wife. You could spend a weekend or, you know, you know, a couple of weeks, a summer, a road trip, whatever it is. And they could become a soulmate. And it wasn't a struggle. It wasn't like you were trying to make them your soulmate. It's just, that's what it is. Like, that person right there is always going to be an influential energy in my life. You know?
Yeah. You know, I'm a firm believer that we have multiple soulmates. I believe that anyone can grow to be your soulmate, because I tell you, when my wife and I first met, she was like, oh, the very first week, she was like, oh, you're going to be my husband. And my exact words was, what if I'm not? That's not what I'm going to be. However, here we are. You know what I'm saying? 15 years later. Right. But, you know, I think that anyone willing and open to grow with you can be a soulmate. If they continue that path with you, they become a soulmate, because just like I say, we start to look alike when we become, you know, when we're together for so long, we start to act like we pick up the same mannerisms. We start to think on the same accords, you know, operate in the same mannerisms. And for me, that's what my wife and I have done. Now, mind you, I'm not saying this may be for everyone, you know, just for me, you know, it just grew like that for us. And, you know, I couldn't imagine my life without my wife. You know what I mean? And people say, oh, if that's the case, why are you polyamorous? You know, but that's a whole other story. But I really do feel that we have multiple soulmates, and anyone can grow into being that soulmate. Now, I will say the twin flame aspect, I do believe that we only have that one twin flame, though. I will say that part.
Right. I hope so, because that shit is not fun.
Yeah,
she said, let me come back with it.
I got a question for Terry when we get an opportunity about twin flame. Would you be the astrologer?
Yeah.
Like, I really, because I'm still learning a lot about astrology and my natal, learning to read my natal chart and stuff like that. And I'm very much into all this esoteric, you know, knowledge, right? And so for me, what I do is I read things. I'm an avid reader, so I'm always reading something. But I like to meditate on things. I meditate every day. I read one book that I absolutely love, the Meditation of First and Last Freedom by Osho. And in that, when I read that, it taught me to be able to meditate doing different things. So every day I'm always meditating while I'm doing anything, right?
Active.
One of the main things that I was thinking about one day was the twin flame aspect, right? And so I was reading as much as I could find on twin flames, and I was seeing different perspectives, and how my understanding of a twin flame is that mirror soul that presents you with the good and the bad of yourself, right? And so one day I was meditating, and it just kind of hit me that after you do that self-work, you know, and you overcome yourself, you know, if you are connected with your twin flame, and they're presenting you with yourself, they're presenting you with good as well, right? After all the obstacles and the bullshit that twin flame presents to you, what does that look like? And for me, doing that meditation, it hit me. That's where that bliss comes into play, you know, with that twin flame, because now it's you're loving, you know, that twin flame as you love yourself as well, right? And so I always wonder, from an astrologer's perspective, how do you see that? You know, that twin flame aspect, you know, the good and the bad, you know, the hate and the love. Well, I'm going to say hate, but, you know.
Fear and the love.
Yeah, the fear and the love.
So if I can understand your question, you can be with your twin flame and deal with the issues and, you know, the 7 stages that they say that the twin flames experience and all of that. And after going through that turbulent cycle, remain in that relationship and the bliss and experience all of that fuzzy wuzzy stuff. But if you're dealing with a twin flame,
did you just say fuzzy wuzzy?
Yeah, for the lack of a better term, that was the wackest word that
it's
my
fine.
brain could.
You good? You good?
I'm burnt out. Leave me alone. Okay, so anyways.
You good?
It's only what, 10:30 there?
Right.
11 o'clock?
Right. It's about to be 10, so bear with me. He gonna have us on this live hecka late. Anyway. But if you was with a twin flame and there was something detrimental, like this person put their hands on you, or they betrayed you, they had sex with someone else when y'all was not supposed to do that, like you don't have to get back with them. You could be with a divine complement or another soulmate. You better teach them a life, an eternity lesson. Like, if you mess with me, I'm not going to spend the rest of our lifetimes with each other. Yeah. So I'll catch you next lifetime till you learn. You're going to have to watch me with my divine complement over here. We be thinking that we got to stay in these toxic relationships because we have limited thinking on our life expectancy and things like that. Like, no, we live forever. So while we here for the next 80 years, fam, we ain't going to be together. You gonna see me with him. I'll catch you next time.
Wow.
Hopefully you learned that
lesson. I feel you.
That's interesting. That's where I would say it overlaps. That's where I would say monogamy and non-monogamy overlaps, or at least can overlap, is that what did you say? That emotional, that self-individual, that emotional development, that self-development, the opportunities to grow as a person, and then recognize that we have choices, that we have choices in life. And like you said, we don't have to stay in anything. Right. Monogamous, non-monogamous, we don't have to stay. We get to create what we want to create.
Man, I'm a firm believer of that.
You guys, hold on one second. Coogi, y'all was talking about the fact that we have multiple soulmates. Uh-huh. I took some notes. So yeah, we do have multiple soulmates.
Like legit? Okay. That's a real thing?
Yeah.
I just always thought that makes more sense than the other way.
Yeah, even your children, your best friend can be a soulmate. Right.
That makes more sense in the world.
My sister, Herb Alchemist, is clearly one of my soulmates.
Yeah, true story.
Clearly, even her man is one of my soulmates. Yeah. My best friend, Hoshana Jones, is one of my soulmates. Sure enough. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mr. Dozier, you one of my soulmates.
Hey, true story.
You feel me?
Right.
For real.
Right.
I got so many soulmates on planet Earth, but I'm not blinking all of y'all. No, we are not doing that. I don't gotta blink on y'all to be y'all soulmate. Like, I feel like
I'm sorry. Did you say boink?
Boink. You know that's what it is. Boink, 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 boink. You know that's what it is. When it's really bomb?
Yeah.
When it's really bomb?
Oh, the boink boink. I didn't know it go to a boink. Okay.
What? Oh, dang. Well, let me stop. So, anyways.
Hold on. Let me get my notepad. What'd she say?
Are you taking notes for the glossary?
Yes. Apparently, there's a boink level that I ain't got to yet. I didn't get to the boink.
Damn. Yep. So, the gushy boink. So, anyway.
Gushy boink.
You don't got to be humping on all of your soul mates.
Facts.
That's how I feel about it. Yeah. And you trying to say something more. You done cut me off and made me lose my track of thought. Go on ahead. Just talk.
Who you talking about? Me?
Yes.
No, you good. I mean.
Oh, okay. I thought you was going to say something.
Just knowing that there are more soulmates. And I mean, and I get that, because knowing that there's more types of love, right? If there's platonic and there's agape and there's all these different types of love.
Ooh, I know what I was going to say.
There you have it.
There's different types of love. So what I was going to say is that when it comes to your soulmate, you don't have to hump on all of them, right? You can just connect with them and allow it to be, experience each other from another space. Right. I feel that in America, in the current state of our society, we have perverted love because we don't know how to love. So we think love, since we all been molested and other things, we and exposed to so many things, we think when we love someone and we have an attraction to them, that means we need to go and boink.
Now is love and sex the same thing though? Like,
not at all.
No, they're not. And I'm not saying to y'all in particular, but for a lot of the poly community, as soon as a man sees me, he automatically looks at my lips like, dang, I will wonder, oh my God. And I'm going to tell him now it's the best. But I'm not going to ever do that with you. You need to just look at me as this mystical astrologer predicting things. Don't look at me like that. It will never happen.
I mean,
can both yeah, okay. I hear you. It won't. So on my level, right? As Kateria, when I was in a relationship with my man, men being sexually attracted to me made me have no respect for them when they knew that I was with my man. Huh. Like, you are disrespectful. Why would I mess around with you and you know I got something over here?
That's natural.
And like, don't even look at me like that, yo. I'm not about to take everybody down.
I don't think every man
look at me from another space.
Yeah,
I don't think every man looks at a woman, because honestly, I look at.
No, I'm talking about the experiences that I get, fam.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I've been raped several times. First of all, I've been raped 5 times in my life. Wow. I've had my friends' fathers try to touch me, and uncles and all kinds of stuff as a woman. And every time a man's like, oh man, you're so intelligent, I just love everything you represent. Oh, are you single? And da 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 da. I live on this side. And this is a message to the brothers. I'm your sis, fam. And as a matter of fact, if I haven't known you for several years, like 7 to 10 years, that's never going to happen. It's not. It's not. And people that I do connect with on that level, I knew them for 7 and 10 years before we even connected like that. So, yeah, like, we need to understand, when you find someone attractive or you love someone, you don't always got to take it to that level. That's my message to men and women.
I had so much more I wanted to say, but
I agree.
I'm going to speak on that last part, though.
Yeah.
I agree with you. People do misconstrue attraction all the time.
Right.
You know, people think that just because you're attracted to someone means that you're supposed to be intimate or you're supposed to be in a relationship. To me, that means that there's something about you that I'm drawn to that I'm supposed to either expound on. It could be a adventure. It could be the greatest platonic connection I've ever experienced, either like a best friend, soulmate, you know, have you, you know, so, and I always, because I believe in articulating my thoughts to people. When I speak to people, if I'm attracted to you, I'm going to say, hey, I'm attracted to you. But I found that I have to become more descriptive to people about what my attraction is. Because when I say that to some people, they're like, oh, he want to date me. He want to be with me. He wants to sleep with me. And no, that's not what that means. That means that I'm just interested in you. Something about you that I'm drawn to. There's a connection there that I'm willing to or wanting to explore. You know, so I definitely agree with you on people needing to understand, you know, just because we're cool and I'm attracted to you, we're drawn to one another, doesn't mean that I need to sleep with you or appoint you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my experience growing up was like, my grandfather, he even prior to my wife, he told me that I should find a queen, right? Like, don't waste all your energy and life force chasing all these women and all that jazz. So in my head, I was always like, I need to find a queen. And, you know, the first prototype for my queen, I realized like she was a prototype. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, you are everything, and you're a friend, and you're a spirit animal, right? But you were just there to help me become more of the king that I'm supposed to be, and I was there to build you up as a queen, you know, but not to rape and pillage, you know what I mean? The village. Like, if anything, it was to send you back out into the world, not hurt, but like stronger, you know? And in my head, it was always just a thought process, like, if everybody fucking screwed somebody, because I was cheated on in high school, and, you know, cheated on in high school, you know, my girlfriend kissed somebody else, but that was, you know, mind blown. Like, I was like, ah, you know, it was very emotional.
Heck yeah.
And
I'll still be mind blown now.
Yeah, and I loved her, you know, and regardless of all of that, it was like, all right, I'll never cheat because I know how that shit feels, and that's what it was. That was the lesson for me, is that I'll never cheat, right? And after that, I read this book called The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, right? And I was literally testing out just theories and, like, you know, basic ideas in the book. And so I was dating like 5 different women at one point, and all unique, all beautiful in their own, you know, right? And wasn't raping and pillaging, you know, it was literally having stimulating discussion, or, you know, even just random just energies and occurrences. And then I met my wife, you know, she was the fifth, and immediately it was like, cool, I can put these all to the side because I'm gonna focus on this woman. You know, right. It's obviously out of my league, but maybe I have an opportunity if I focus. And so, you know, the next day, after our first date, which was on Valentine's Day, I called all the other ladies, and, you know, after that, probably we talked every single day. And I was always away because I was working on the road doing photography and all these things. And that was why we worked, I feel, is because there was, you know, the mystique of like, I miss you. I ain't seen you in 2 weeks because I've been working, you know, and it built up just that, you know, that sacred bond where I'm like, she's my soulmate. Like, I'll never let her down. But at that time, I still had the capacity to love many people. And I've had relationships in platonic ways, right? And this is going to be a scientific word for it. Because I love ganja. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's amazing. You should try it out.
That's something right before the show.
Way ahead of you.
But, you know, the beautiful thing is consuming it with another energy, specifically female energy, for me is kind of like, it's bliss. It's like one of the most amazing, holy, divine things because I'm literally able to just be myself, breathe, and connect on a higher frequency. And it doesn't mean that we always have to be high when it happens, but just the act, just the ritual of, you know, giving her the herb and letting her break it down and putting it into you know, some papers and then smoking it and just talking about life and venting and, you know, seeking that guidance, not for a sexual, you know, hunt at all.
But it's definitely erotic. The way you described it, like that was definitely erotic.
That's definitely intimacy right there.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. But with my wife, I found she doesn't like cannabis like that. Her background, my background, we're opposites, which is perfect because we need each other. But that aspect I miss with her because she doesn't like the smell of it. She doesn't, you know, all those things. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, wow, on an energetic level, that is missing, right? That's a part of me that I'm not able to fully be myself with her. And it feels like cheating, right? Even though to me, it's not cheating. I'm just like, look, these are all reflections of God, one, and none of this is real. And my spirit knows what's right. And I know what's right to do, how to act, how to walk. And so
I think that's where the beauty of polyamory comes into play, though, or ethical non-monogamy, whatever, you know, term people like to use.
I love ethical non-monogamy as a term because but it's something that it takes two, at least, for it to be ethical, right?
You know, but I can see your point because, like I was explaining to you when we first met, you know, my wife and I, we were in a poly-mono relationship for 3 years, you know, where she was like, I'm just monogamous to you. You know, because she was thinking it's a fad for me. But, you know, like I said earlier, with us being at two different extremes of the spectrum, you know, I can't fully be myself with her and she can't fully be herself with me because we're not on that same page. Right. Like my wife is a homebody. Like she's always been a homebody. Right. And me, I'm an outdoorsman. I love being outdoors around people. Yeah. You know, so I definitely get to having that particular intimacy that you enjoy, you know, non-sexual intimacy, I say, that you enjoy, and not being able to explore that with your life partner. You know, I definitely been there. You know, I know exactly how that feels. And for me, it was something that we had to really try to work towards together in my marriage. Right. You know, because to me, I'm like, I can't be with you because we can't do all these things together. Like I always imagine all these many beautiful things that I do with my wife or my life partner, and I can't even do them with you. Right. You know, however, my experience in polyamory, you know, it helped me to understand that, yeah, you may not be able to do that with this particular person, but you do have other people that resonate with you in this particular way that you can share those things
and
with.
You should share.
Right, and you can give 100% of yourself to that connection as well as giving 100% to your primary connection as well. Right. You know, because anyone that know me know that I absolutely love and adore my queen. Like I make sure any and everyone know, and not just because I'm trying to get, validation, or I want people to, see, look at me, I'm a guy that loves my, no.
The facts of life.
I can't do anything else but let the world know that I love this woman. Right. You know what I mean? So it's always interesting to people that are like, well, how do you love other people then? And I tell them easily, other people bring out and invoke different emotions and different energies within me. You know what I mean? Like this particular energy that I may feel with my wife, I may not be able to have that feeling with someone else. But that same feeling that I have with someone else, I don't feel that with my wife. And it doesn't mean that I love my wife less, or it doesn't mean that I love my partner, less than I love my wife. It just means that I love them differently, just like I love my children or my siblings differently.
And I've always thought like it's a lot to put on somebody to be everything that you ever dreamed of.
I wanted to speak to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this just a man's call?
No, you stop. You stop, girl. You had the first half hour. You better stop.
I'm just kidding. I'm loving everything I'm hearing from y'all.
Bless. But growing.
But yeah, so when it comes to that, that's such a powerful thing. And this is what made me get into poly in the first place. Everything that Kuji is talking about. And even you, Monzel, when it comes to this person can't make up all of who I am, and I like this kind of music. This brother, he got to put his headphones in, when I'm listening to my music, or, this person doesn't want to explore this with me or that or whatever, all that kind of stuff. Right. And as a matter of fact, I was dating a dude that I was just like, bro, do not listen to your music in my house.
At all.
I told him your style, your taste of music is trash.
See, and that
he came to my house with nasty, dirty socks on his feet in a hole.
No.
But the sock twisted, and the hole was at the top of the foot. Mind you, this is a young brother, handsome, intelligent, vegan, a king on top of his stuff. He ain't never been back. I was like, you got enough money to buy a brand new pack of socks every week, okay?
Ooh, he probably
that's all I'm big on that. Okay.
He's like, she blaming me up right now.
That's the thing. I'm super particular.
Yeah.
I'm extremely particular. As particular as I am, I bet you God only made one person that I'm going to really vibe with. But
no, you're probably right. It's divine. It's divine. Right. Whoever your partner is.
He is divine. He is awesome. So, but to get to your
inside,
point,
I feel like that was inside.
You were talking. Hold on. Let me say what I'm saying. You were talking about y'all was talking about having a person make up all these different sides. I don't need him to listen to my music and go hiking with me if he don't want to. I still have such a big relationship with myself that I don't care if he don't want to watch or listen to Sia's music with me. Right. Cool, fam, go over there. So I don't need another person at all to enjoy anything with me, even him. Because I'm so satisfied inside of myself. I don't need to be like, share this with me. I'll share it with my children or my friend or a bird.
But that's the point that I was making. That's the point that I was making, that, with growth, I realized that I don't necessarily have to have that with my partner. I don't have to have that with my partner. That's okay.
Putting a lot on them.
Right. You did say something that I always make sure that I speak on. Anyone that knows me know that I love Kuji Chagalia first and foremost. Yes. I tell people I'm a two-sided coin. I love myself very selfishly first, and I love myself very selflessly as well, meaning that all the love that I'm putting into myself first, I'm willing to pour that into any and everyone that I connect with as well. So for me, if you're not into all the things that I'm into, then I'm gonna saturate myself with all those things that I love, just for myself. It's not even requiring you, because at the end of the day, I create my own happiness. And if anything, you start to impede on my self-created happiness, then it's time for me to make some adjustments. Right. But at the end of the day, I make my own happiness. And at the end of the day, I also can connect with someone else that may share those same enjoyments in life, which to me is the beauty of polyamory, which also means that it doesn't necessarily have to be something sexual. It's just that I have this intimate connection like you have with weed or ganja.
Right. Yeah.
Other people that do have that same connection, we can share that intimacy for music, because my wife and I, we very much don't like the same music, and she we on road trips. She's like, can you put your headphones on so we don't have to listen to all this slow love music
the whole time?
I'm sitting there at the concert all the way there with my headphones on. But I can connect and resonate with someone who does like that, and we can have an amazing, beautiful connection just surrounded around the music that we love. Right. But first and foremost, I'm going to pour into Coogi first. So it goes back to my loving without attachment. I don't require you to love me the way that I love you.
Fact. Right.
End of the day, I don't require you to even love me in return. In fact, if you're not loving me in return, I love you for me at that particular time.
That's what it is. So that's the thing where you can love somebody and they could hate you, but you're really loving them for you.
Yeah, I'm feeling that way. Because
I've experienced that.
Yeah, it's like I absolutely love loving. I love being able to rise in love with a woman, and share that intimacy, But if you're not returning that, I still feel that. I still have that love for you, And this is one thing that kind of led me to polyamory. Is that I realized that I couldn't help but rising in love with people that I resonate with women that I resonated with, and I wasn't always ethical. So, it would really hurt my wife's feelings when I would meet a woman and I'm just like, I don't know why I feel the way that I feel for her. She just resonates with me. And it doesn't mean that I don't love you because you still resonate with me as well. But
right,
it's man.
Yeah,
you're good.
It seems like that's another place where it can overlap is this the idea of fear. So how fear in the relationships. How do you guys deal with fear in relationships?
Mine will be real quick. For one, I said mine's gonna be real quick.
Okay.
For me, my father didn't teach. First of all, my father, and I said this yesterday to you guys, is one of the greatest men to walk this earth. In my eyes, but my father didn't teach us to live in fear. So I don't have, if I have an issue, even if I've had insecurities, then I try to work through those, but for me, fear, I don't really have that in relationships. Cause again, I'm loving without attachment and I'll do everything that I can do to maintain our relationship. But if you choose not to, continue to walk with me in a relationship, then I understand it is what it is, but I don't really have fear in relationships.
Okay.
That's an excellent answer. So when it comes to me with fear in a relationship, fear comes from the opposite force of love. And so it depends on what is causing the fear. You know what I'm saying? What could be fears in a relationship? Like say that, for instance, the person could pass away, right? Mm-hmm. So with dealing with that fear, that's where I have that natural sense of attachment and detachment. And I'm also okay with the human's journey needing to be whatever it is. I'm loving on that person while we are together physically in this time. And even when or if that person transcends, I can still connect to that person energetically, just not in this particular material form. Now, when it comes to fear in regards to jealousy, I think that would, I don't know what other, sometimes people have fear that their partner will outshine them or something like that. Mm-hmm. That I don't deal with that fear at all. I don't do it. And maybe it's my programming for me being a woman that it's okay if a man is doing a little bit more or whatever, or getting some type of attention or whatever. No, I don't. And for me, that's something that would be good because I need a confident man. You know what I'm saying? I need my man to be very confident. Now, when it comes to any fears and dealings with like, oh, he may leave me for somebody else. Oh, bruh. No, I don't have that fear. If he leaves for somebody else, it just meant that our connection was complete. That season between us was complete. And now this person must experience their journey elsewhere. Mm-hmm. I am an Aquarius. So I am kind of detached like that. Now, don't get me wrong. That does not mean that I don't have any emotions. Oh, I will cry and I will be sad about that person leaving my life and I will purge that person, but I will get over it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just like, oh, well, whatever. No, I have feelings and they go deep, you know, but I would understand, but like being jealous of another woman. No, I see jealousy as a tool to remind you to continue your process of self-growth and evolution. If you truly love who you are and you're truly confident in who you are as a being, you're not going to be jealous because someone else is also dope and great. You're going to be happy that someone else is dope and great, that you're not on the planet alone. Right. So you're like, yeah, that's all. So you could sit down too and be in the audience and learn something. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's another thing with being a woman. We're already numb to the fact that there are so many beautiful women on earth. So of course a man is going to look at the art that the creator created, and if he doesn't see it, then I don't know why he doesn't have the eyes that the creator gave to him. But yeah, if a man is just like, oh shoot, that's not going to be something cool with me, because that's a super like lustful vibe, and I don't vibe with that unless we are in our sacred space where lust is also ruled by Scorpio, in which things should be private and sacred. But yeah, when it comes to fear in relationships, if I ever felt fear, and not to say that I don't experience the feeling of fear either, I have experienced it, but not in all of those cases with a man, you know, being better or anything. But when I was younger, I did experience feelings of jealousy from other women, and what that would tell me is like, the Kateria, if you were really you're living up to your potential in your life, would you even give a daggone what this other woman was doing? And I really reflect on how powerful I am and how beautiful I am and how magnificent, how loving and how pure, transparent and authentic I am. Somebody else need to be able to do something great, because I am very great, and not in a egoic way as if I don't see other greatness in the world. I see a lot of greatness in the world. There's a lot of greatness all around me. I'm on this phone until the wee hours of the night with y'all because I'm, you know, sitting here amongst greatness. You feel me? But yeah, so another woman could have a nice shape, a body, you know, she can have a dope job, silky skin, and be beautiful in any type of a way, have talent and all of these types of things. You know what I'm saying? And she could be communicating with my man. And he could even be like, wow, this is a very beautiful person. And a woman could even be on my man like, oh my God, you are so great. I just can't believe how fantastic you are. Everything that you do is amazing to me. I'm going to smile at my man like, wow, look at his reality and what he's experiencing within his reality, and that he attracts so much love in his life. That is so brilliant, beautiful. He is really, truly expressing the energy of the creator, which is love, and he attracts love that in which he is. And I'm going to just sit back and enjoy his reality and talk about it with him. Like, people really love you because you are really that amazing.
I dig that. You said two things that I wanted to touch bases on too. One was you were talking about getting jealous of other women. And actually, I get this question so much because I post a lot about polyamory. And so I'm always getting hit up by other men and like, oh, well, you know, do you get jealous? Because first of all, let me state, you know, my wife and I, we're both heterosexual, so we only date separately. You know, so most guys be like, oh, well, how do you handle when your wife beats another man and all of this stuff? And the main question I get is, well, what you gonna do when your wife meet a man that fuck her better than you? You know, excuse my language. But, and this is always my thing, and you spoke to this, Kateria, that, you know, I'm confident in who I am as a man, first and foremost. You know, I know what my wife likes, what she loves, what she does not like. I have taken the time to learn and study my wife, you know, mentally, physically, spiritually, and sexually. So I know what I bring to the table. So for me, I'm not intimidated by another man that may, you know, be aesthetically, you know, different than me and more pleasing to her. Because at the end of the day, she still chooses to be with me every day. And it's a choice that I'm thankful for every day that my wife decides to share her love with me, or a partner of mine. You know, even if she has another partner, you know, I'm not intimidated by her partner or by her husband or her boyfriend, because at the end of the day, something about me drew her in a romantic sense, and something about me keeps her there until she's not. You know, or until we're not, you know. So I'm glad you spoke to that. The other thing that I want to mention.
That was lovely.
Thank you so much. You mentioned earlier that just because you I'm just going to paraphrase, just because you love without attachment in a sense doesn't mean you don't have feelings. I speak about loving without attachment so much, and people always equate that to me saying that I don't have feelings. I don't. I'm not sad about things, and I tell people there's a difference. I definitely feel disappointed especially if I'm wasting my time and my energy, we're no longer, on that path of longevity. But I do have feelings. I do get disappointed. My feelings get hurt, and I'm like, damn, I thought, this was going to be some, forever type shit. And it wasn't. But loving without attachment doesn't necessarily mean that I don't feel the emotion of a relationship that transitioned. However, what I will do is I'll focus on the beauty of all the great times, the great experiences that we created together, and help me move on to the next thing. And for me, that's my replacement therapy. I'm gonna replace, the physical and the emotional, spiritual connection that I had with her, which is the memory of everything that we shared in a beautiful, in a beautiful, beautiful way. So you said that. I just want to touch base on it because you said those things and it resonated.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
That was beautiful. And the more that I listen to you and the deeper that we go, what I'm realizing is that why the relationship structures that you're in or why the way that you love works for you is because you both show up with a lot of self-awareness, with a lot of inner emotional and spiritual development. So again, to my point earlier, of like, it really doesn't matter what type of relationship that you're in, it's just about knowing yourself and knowing how you relate to people and constantly, being on top of that and constantly contributing to that and reflecting on that and allowing that to happen and be present with it. And so I think it's so beautiful that still, being on both sides, we're still able to kind of find this common ground and this common place.
Yeah, man, it really truthfully is. And that's something that I had to learn. When I first got into polyamory, I was like, oh, fuck monogamy. Monogamy is the wrong way. Everybody is polyamorous, But I had to understand that your individual mindset and the way that your heart is individually wired depicts how you're going to love. Because you can very well be polyamorous and never date someone else.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can be monogamous and date a million other people and still be monogamous. Right. But, depending on how you're wired, like I tell you all the time, my mind and my heart has always been wired to love more than one person, because I am love. Also, Terry, you mentioned also that love that's the original source, that God. So I definitely think that's absolutely how I feel. If I tell people that I have to have a religion, it's going to be love. It's my religion. But anyway.
Right.
What's up, Daddy? Hold on one second. What's up, Daddy?
Well, I think that was my kids, y'all. I looked around like, hey, hold on. I get my babies.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
Y'all see Melanie came.
You're supposed to be asleep.
I guess we're next. One of us is next.
One of us is next, for sure.
Yeah.
Yo, well, on that note, so I've got 2 videos here, and I do want to interject those 2 videos. One of them, I believe, looks like it's the Return of the Gods. Kateria, are you open with me rolling this video clip real quick? She's like, sure.
Most definitely. What?
Did you want to tee it up?
Are we gonna be able to see it?
You won't be able to see it. You won't be able to hear it. But when it's all said and done, you'll be able to see it and hear it.
Why
not? Because you can see it and hear it if you go to the Edified Intellects Facebook page. If we're streaming there, you can see it there.
I'm on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, so you can check it out there. You can't see it in the Zoom. Is the only issue.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Yeah.
Because we'll still be live, right? On air when
we'll still be live. I'll mute you guys, but yeah, you're good. So, without
where do I go? I'm trying to pull up Facebook to see where I go.
It's all good. I sent the link, I think, in the chat, which was the second link that shows Lovers and Friends Live. If you click that, you'll see comments and stuff and all that jazz.
I see. I'm there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna mute you right now.
Okay.
And we're gonna play this clip. Hey. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Return of the Gods.
On the eve of 8/8/2020, the sun, the earth, and star Sirius, the brightest star in our nighttime sky, will align to bring an energetic, spiritual, and vibrational upgrade to our galaxy. The Lion Gate Puddle, a galactic takeover for the energy of the divine to dominate the world.
Yo, what up, family? You already know who it is, your boy, King Los, and I will be seeing you at the Real Family Reunion, Return of the Gods. You can't miss it. Atlanta, Georgia, August 8th. Be there. I will. Will you?
Join us in Atlanta, Georgia for a full weekend of explosive fun and entertainment at our 4th Real Family Reunion Return of the Gods. Hosted by the comedian Michael Koyar. This year, enlightened speakers includes the one and only Queen Afua, Blue Pill, astrologer Kateria Knowles, and many others. Performances by the King of Freestyle, King Los, Soleil, Herb Alchemist, Grey Official, and others. Enjoy our live African dancers and open your heart during our ancestral tribute. This year's award ceremony honorees includes Professor Griff of Public Enemy and Serious Minds, Dr. Joel Bukrum, Ra Aku, the Cosmophysician, and Tassilis of Tassilis, Raw Reality. Bring your entire family for a weekend full of bliss. Children of 5 and under get in free. Come dressed in your royal regalia of white and silver diamond and eyes. Grab your tickets today at ROTG2020.com.
And so that was the video, and that's gonna look, I mean, it looks lit, y'all. I'm super excited to even be a part of that whole deal and see it in its full fruition. You've been doing this for how long? Oh, I got you on mute. How long have you been doing Return of the Gods?
So, I need to mute this.
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing Return of the Gods since 2012.
Dope.
But I do it every other year.
Okay.
So I don't do it every single year. So, yeah, y'all won't have another Return of the Gods until 2022. So y'all got to come out.
Yeah. 2020. It's going to be in Atlanta. Where in Atlanta? Or in Georgia, I'm sorry.
You're muted.
Yeah. Huh?
I was just telling Kuji he's muted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
So,
okay. I'm just talking.
It's going to be in Stone Mountain, which is like 20 minutes away from Georgia. So it's still, I mean, not Georgia, away from Atlanta. So it's still considered the Atlanta area.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like Glendale and Los Angeles, you know.
Dope.
That type of a deal.
Dope.
So, but yeah, it's going to be there.
I'm going to get my ticket to show up.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's white and silver and diamonds. She said,
I ain't got no diamonds yet. Can I do my cubic zirconians?
Cubic zirconia.
I can go grab some quartz real quick. I can give some quartz.
I got some Herkimer diamond. I guess Herkimer.
But no, Kateria, it looks really, really dope.
Yeah.
I want to be in the press, so I definitely will be getting my ticket. So.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I want to say diamonds and ice because I like how that sounds, okay. But I have to, people are like, well, what do you mean? I got to wear diamonds all over my body. It's like, white and silver. Get creative. You feel me? But right. Whatever.
Yeah, right. Do what you want to do. It's all good.
It looked really, really dope, man. You guys did a great job on the commercial too. Like it looks.
Thank
really
you.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna have to catch it afterwards, Kateria. I didn't catch it. My computer was slow at uploading, so.
Oh, okay.
And this is all recorded, so you guys will be able to check it all out, all in context. Yeah. I do also have, because we were talking about twin spirits. I have some creative content here from the brother Kuji. Kuji, did you want to tee up what this is, what it means to you? And just like Cass' video, production value looks beautiful, man.
Thank you, brother. Shout out to Brian Dwayne. He's a photographer, videographer here in Atlanta that does Black Touch.
Okay.
Which is like he captures all the beautiful essence of like BDSM and just anything Black Touch. Period. I don't want to really get off into what it is because I don't want to misconstrue anyone's vision. But he does an amazing job, and he really brought forth. He helped bring forth the essence of what the song Twin Flames represents. And just to give you a little bit about the song, the song stemmed from a dream that I had about this woman who, and I would always had this recurring dream about her, and just throughout life. And to me, it was a vision of who my twin flame is. And so one night I woke up. This actually was after I had a motorcycle accident when I broke my left leg. So I was off of work. So I was up late, like tonight, and was just working on music and working on some production, and came up with the music and the energy of the music. It kept making me think about this dream that I had. And I said, I need to write something about this. I've written out in my journal, several times about it, but I never really, wrote a song about it. So I was like, you know what? Let me write this song about this woman. And all I kept thinking was, this is my twin flame. This is my twin flame. And so that's where all the words, the lyrics of the song came into play, and I give a brief description of what she looks like, in the song. She's, a dark-skinned figure. But yeah, her body's still glowing. And I didn't completely enunciate the term "a gleam" properly in the song, so people be like, "Wait a minute, you say she's ugly?" I'm like, "No," I say, "But her body's still a gleam," and I probably should put a little more emphasis on the But yeah, you know what I mean. She put that in there, But yeah, and so in this dream, she was just a dark-skinned, a beautiful woman. And she was just glowing, a dark skin. It was just beautiful. Like
I'm just gonna say, I almost feel. Did y'all cast exactly correct? Because the model in the video is
yeah. She's a gleam. Yeah, she's a gleam. So shout out to the well, I don't want to call her model, but she is a tantric yogi. Her name is Crystal Tantric Yogi on Instagram. She's amazing. She and I actually went to college together, so we've been friends for like over 20 years. And it was like she's truly a goddess, in every sense of the word. And I knew that she would really bring forth the essence that I needed to convey in this particular video, and she executed it well. We didn't do more than we maybe did 2 or 3 takes just to get different angles right. on the scenes, but it was execution like bam, bam, because it's just who she is, So the song is Twin Flames, and it's just about, the twin flame that I envisioned, after all the strife and the obstacles that we, meet. I'm speaking more so of the bliss aspect of that twin flame connection, in this particular song.
Well, without further ado, Twin Flames, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Coogee.
Yes. No.
Us two. The moon needs the sun the way that I'm needing you. And you're the brightest reflection of my heart. So when you're away, life's tenebrous. I never thought that I would ever have these feelings. Thanks to you, yeah, I know just what it is. We're just twin spirits. We're just twin spirits. Said we're just twin spirits, yes. Burning twin flames. Clouds. How we connect, it keeps our love from coming down. Even before we met, you invaded my dreams with your dark skin, but yet your body's still a gleam. Now you're the deepest vibration all in my soul. And
now that we're here, tonight we'll reconnect and be whole. I never thought that I would ever find this loving, but thanks to you, yeah, I know just what it is. We're just twin spirits. Said we're just twin spirits. We're just twin spirits, yeah. Burning twin flames. I know, come on, we're floating up above the clouds, and how we connect, it keeps our love from coming down. I know, come on, we're floating up above the clouds, and how we connect, it keeps our love from coming down. I said we're just twin spirits. We're just twin spirits.
Yo, and there it is. There it is. That video, y'all. Honestly, I feel like that's my favorite music video of 2020. At least this decade, right? I mean, no, I almost want to say 2019 too, bro. That was a beautiful, beautiful project, man. You should feel wonderful about that, man. You did a great job.
Is I was a little concerned about putting it out because twin flame can be so controversial. You know, people always feel like, oh, my definition is better, or this is what it means. And I was like, man, I really don't want to go through that. But I had to remember that, listen, I'm putting this music out because this is for me. Right. You know, who it resonates with is going to resonate with. Right. And to see so many people resonate with the song, it's blown my mind. Like, seriously.
It's, you know, right now Venus is retrograde in the sign of Gemini, and Venus rules relationships, and Gemini is the sign of the twins. Wow. So it's definitely aligned with the times that we are in. Wow. Powerful stuff.
2020.
Man, what's interesting is, like I said, I was in a motorcycle accident. This was 2015 when I created the track, and I started writing to the song, and I couldn't complete it until I had the dream again, and I wound up finishing the song in like 2017, and so much was going on, and I was like, I just sat on it. I was like, you know, I'm not gonna put the song out, you know. And it was so much. I had so much going on in my life musically. You know, my band that I was with had debanded, and I was like, you know what? I guess I'll be a solo artist or something, you know.
Right.
And that's the first thing that came to mind. I was like, I got to put Twin Flames out, and I got with Brian and Crystal and explained to them what I was looking to bring, because I wanted to be everything. Anyone that knows me, they say that this video really exemplifies Coogi. You know, the sexuality, the sensuality, right. You know, that openness, the smooth vibe, you know. And I'm like, everything that I am has been put into that song and in that video, and it just came out great. And I got to give a shout out to Yoga Skills as well, which is the Comedic Yoga studio here.
Dope.
Which is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Yasir Ra Hotep. He does a lot of the Comedic yoga certifications. His daughter and I are really good friends. Actually, she does my locks. She hooks my crown up for me. We've been really good friends for years. But that's the yoga studio that we're using. So it was
all divine, bro.
It really was. Because we tried to reach out to so many places to shoot the video, and it's funny because that both the scene, one with Crystal waking up in the morning, that's my master bedroom, right. And then the room that the room that I'm in now, as you guys can see, right. I'm there. So, you know, it was interesting because no one wanted us to use their rooms. You know, it was like it was difficult just trying to get that together. But I was like, you know what? We'll use the house. My wife was like, I don't know why you didn't use that anyway.
Right.
So
yeah, you pay for it.
Kia, who runs Yoga Skills, was like, man, come and use the studio. You know, I'm with it. I love the song. So
is the woman your wife?
No, that's not. Nope, just a friend. Just my really. We like I said, we went to college together.
But I
heard that part.
She is a gleam.
Yeah, she's a gleam.
Very beautiful.
Gleam.
It's fun. Everyone thinks that though. Everyone's like, "Oh, is that your wife?" And I'm like,
people always.
Yeah, when you put together such a loving video like that.
Yeah. It was funny. You had to hear Crystal speak about it. She was like, "Koji, like it was difficult to do it because like you were just so real. Like it was normal for you." I'm like, "Yeah." You know, like I was staring her in her like at the end of the video. I'm staring in her eyes. She's like,
"That's why I had to crack up laughing."
Well, so that part, I think we did that part maybe 2 or 3 times because she was like, "Wait a minute, you staring me in my eyes?
Too deep.
Right?
Hey, you in my soul."
You know what I'm saying? So when we finally got the last take, I grab her hair and start laughing. Yeah. You know, because the previous tape, she was like, "Hey, listen, man, this feeling, I feel his energy here now." Right. You know, but also that put a side of me as well. Like everyone that knows me also knows that I'm a very comedic person because I try to make people laugh. Life's too short not to laugh and have a good time. So we had a really great time filming the video, and I'm just glad that everything that I wanted to come across in that video came across. Yeah, man. You know,
it came out. Any element of that video that would have been different, it wouldn't have been that video, you know?
Yeah.
All the way down to your DP, you know, the fact that he was able to capture it so beautifully made it, you know what I mean? But then the model, the music.
You done mentioned that model a few times.
Hey, I'm just saying. Just saying. I am an artiste, sir. I'm an artiste, and I recognize divine art.
Right. But yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity. So, now I do got a song that I'm working on now about polyamory too. Yes.
I've got one track I just released, man. It's my first little tiptoe into that world of like releasing music that's like, so I'm gonna have to send it to you. I'm gonna have to get your feedback on it and all that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Because with this particular song, I had a few refreshments, herbal refreshments, and I was just listening to my playlist, and No Ordinary Love came on.
Okay.
So so I did. I hit a Kateria. I put it on repeat, and I listened to it like all night long. And I came back to my Mac, and I was like, I got to create a song that kind of has that same taboo love, but passion and the seriousness of polyamory and the dramatic. So the song has that No Ordinary Love feel, and everyone that I listen to, they like, dude.
Yeah, you got it.
It's some shit. So I'm really like, I gotta bring this song like for real. I
gotta hear that.
I can't wait.
And the way that I'm writing it is to where if you're not polyamorous, that you still can relate to the love aspect. But the key thing about it is I'm using a lot of polyamorous terms so that people who do understand our language, they like, oh, he's speaking about compersion.
Compersion. What?
You know what I'm saying? Or did he just say saturation? And you know what I mean? So, but if you're monogamous, you can still come from that same respect of loving that one particular person. So it's for you too, Kateria.
You're right.
No, I'm just...
She said, I don't know. She's like, I'm over it. I don't want to hear it no more.
I would like to hear that song.
Yeah.
I got you.
I love it. I can't wait to hear it. And it felt like we were watching Midnight Love over here.
Right.
I was watching it.
That's the feel that with my music. That's the feel that I want to bring back. That '90s Midnight Love, Quiet Storm, R&B, soul.
Man. Yeah. We have fun with that.
Yeah, and I tell people, I consider my music love soul music because it's music, but it comes from the soul to other souls. And I think that's another reason why people can relate and feel the vibrations. Because I put all of me into my music. You know, I want you to feel this love. So when you hear it, you like, I kind of like Coogi. Let me. How you doing? This is my no. But I want to bring that back, man, to where people can just vibe, you know, and just feel the music. You know, and I hope that my music can inspire people to love and want to be loved, and celebrate the love, because you know I feel like that's what's missing now. You know, the music in the radio nowadays is cool. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna knock anyone because I love all music, but I think we're missing that element of passion and desire and romance and, you know, that lust, because lust is a part of relationships as well. You know, that deep intimacy. I want to bring all of that sexuality, the sexual liberation. I want to bring that into the music. You know, because we don't hear a lot of songs about, you know, sexual liberation and, you know, praising the woman for, you know, her being liberated. You know, because we're always looking at them as, oh, she's a hoe, she's this and that. And I celebrate in that. You know what I mean? I love that in a woman. You know, but yeah.
Well, in celebration of you both, because that's what Lovers and Friends is about too, is celebrating and expanding ideas of love and intimacy, and those who are living it, loving it. So just thank you so much for being here. And also, in celebration of each other, I think I have something in mind. I think great debaters are able to not just know their own perspective and their own stances in and out and very well, but I think they have a strength of also knowing their opposition well too, and anticipating, you know, what they might be about and what their stance is. So I would like to ask you guys if you can, on behalf of each other, what you've heard from each other tonight, on behalf of each other, if there's something that stood out to you, or maybe that you learned, or maybe that, you know, I don't know, that you would like to say on behalf of each other's stances. So, Kateria, you speak on non-monogamy, and Coogi, you speak on monogamy.
Oh, I like this. I like this. Who's going first? Coogi's on it. Please, Coogi.
Right. So what I got from what Kateria stated that really stuck out and resonated with me, because it really is truly who I am, is the depths that she likes to go in her relationships with that individual person. You know, just for me, I enjoy that with multiple people, but the way she articulated, you know, just wanting to know any and everything about this individual, you know, it made me think of my relationship with my wife, you know, and she'll tell you, I believe in learning and studying, you know, my partner, you know, my wife, and learning what makes her, especially sexually. You know, I always want to know what makes you tick, what makes you feel this way, what makes you, you know, react in a certain way, and what makes you think, what do you enjoy about this particular book? Like, it made me think, as she was speaking, it made me think about all those things in depth that I love about my wife, and how monogamy, it really is a beautiful thing, you know, but just that really stuck out to me, you know, Kateria. And for me, again, I won't knock monogamy, because it, you know, I tell people all the time, polyamory isn't for everyone, you know, but it's just not for me, you know. But I definitely got that piece, because it resonated with me really, really, you know, in a great way, you know. And I'm glad that she was able to articulate that, because it's beautiful when you can connect and have that dynamic with someone, that deeper intimacy, you know, mentally as well. And I know I spoke about sexuality, sexual aspects of it, but just that whole mental connection as well, being able to have those deep thought and conversations with someone, deep dialogue conversations. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. Come on, good. Yeah, I like it. Good answer.
Absolutely. So, before I give that answer, I just wanted to say I've been enjoying you all and your discussion, your music, everything about you, Coogi, just so divine, all of y'all energy. So, but another thing, when it comes to polyamory and STDs.
Okay.
That is the thing.
Okay, she brought it in there. I thought we forgot about that.
Y'all was trying to get off the call.
Okay, let's get it. Well, hold on, you gotta answer the question first, but then we can dip.
No, because we get all.
Let's do the topic first, and then we'll answer.
And then I'm going to say what I learned from Coogee. You know.
Yeah.
So the topic.
So STDs.
Right.
There are STDs. There's a lot of them.
It is.
Now, there are cures for all of them. There are cures for every single STD on the planet. But some of these STDs take a couple of years to cleanse. Some take 3, some take 4, some can take you 10. Okay? As an astrologer and being sisters with an herbalist, we get the people that have them serious STDs.
Right.
And dealing with that psychological journey, it's a psychological journey. You go to the doctors and they say you have tested positive for HIV. Right. Yeah, you can cure it, but that is definitely a journey you're going to have to tread. And going through all of the feelings of it and paying the tens and thousands of dollars for the right herbs and detoxes and cleanses you're going to have to do. I don't want to do all of that.
Right.
I'm way too nasty to be using a rubber.
Right.
I need to have
I could dig it.
Parties with my man where true intimacy is had. If you over here with her and she with him and he with her and they're with them and them, the first night with HPV being 80% of the population, that is not a joke. That's not. And a lot of people having herpes, that is not a joke. That's a real thing. And I hear the stories of, connecting and you don't got nothing going on down there. And then all of a sudden, boop-bop, 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 because you got excited. Now you done broke out and you hurting and that sex is not that exciting that I have to itch and burn from time to time because I was rolling and playing patty cake with some boy that I met on the playground. No.
On the playground.
I'm not about to spend thousands of dollars and all these herbs and resurrect Dr. Sadie. I'm not doing it. I will keep my legs and my mouth closed until commitment and we locked in. If you give me something then, I mean, you can still catch something in the monogamous relationship, give it. But at least I have still attempted to limit my exposure to such things to my higher self. Right. And that's the relationship with myself that matters. My higher self knows, like, you really did work hard to make sure that wasn't something that you attracted. And just with that love of self, because everything is about demonstrating self-love through self-care and self-respect. I'm just that channel of love. My intuition and my higher self is going to guide me to correct that issue. But if I'm out here dancing with everybody, I'm putting myself at too much risk, yo. And men will say, well, you can use rubbers and stuff like that, protection. I don't know not one man on the planet, okay, and all my drivers, I told you I had mileage, all my drivers, not one of them had the audacity to be like, oh, we about to do that thing. Let me pull out some dental dam. Y'all do not do that. So I don't want to hear it. Y'all don't pull out dental dam.
I still gotta figure out what that shit is. I've heard it.
Oh my God. And now I'm kissing you and I'm kissing her now because I'm extra sensitive. I'm extra sensitive. Even if you whack in bed, I'm still gonna have some fun for myself because I'm that connected to myself. But I'm so sensitive, I'm gonna be able to taste the food that you ate. I am. So I'm gonna for sure taste her energy on you. I don't want it. It's not. No.
Now, wait a minute. What?
I digress on that.
Yeah, no, you're good. But not that this is the world we live in, but if there were no STDs in the world, would you have the same stance on monogamy?
Yes, but it would not include the STD part.
Okay.
I still only feel attracted. Okay. You hear me getting condescending? Yeah. I still only feel attracted when I have an emotional connection.
I just wasn't sure if it was an attachment, like if it was fear that was.
I'm not afraid of STDs. I don't want to deal with 3 years curing that, and I'm gonna be one to cure it faster than other people. Right. I got the cure for HIV in my bathroom.
And this is just really. on the behalf of the poly community, one thing I can honestly say, in the polyamorous community, we speak about STDs, the safe sex prevention of, as well as it's a regular to say, let me see your paperwork, in the poly community. I know for myself and my wife, we very much practice safe sex when we are engaging in sexual energy exchange with someone outside of her and myself. But we take every precaution that we can. Now, mind you, nothing is 100% preventable, or there are slip-ups. However, we do make sure we get tested regularly. We try to get tested twice a year. And when we acquire a new partner, we definitely get tested again then. If there's a slip-up where there isn't any barriers being used, then we make sure we're getting tested then as well. But for my wife and I, we're not like that. We're not that, and I'm only speaking for us. We're not the ones that's like, oh, we got to have 18 million different lovers. My wife has been with her partner for the last 4 years. And that's the only other partner that she's had. Myself.
Who he with?
I'm sorry.
But ain't he with others?
Yeah, he does have a wife.
And then the other, he has a wife.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, we still take the proper precautions because of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, we just out here all willy-nilly, right. Just in banging and everything. Right. They come
boink.
Yeah, boinking in and everything. STDs is real, like you stated, and we understand that it is real in the poly community, which is why it's always discussed and it's always talked about, in the poly community. So, I just want to throw that piece out there because a lot of people think.
I understand being safe, but you could still, even with a condom, catch herpes.
Yeah, this is true.
Because if you're having sex with that woman, you go down, no dental dam, you looking at everything and everything is fine, you can still boink up in her in the heat of passion. Because of the blood flow and circulation, she can start to have an outbreak in the middle of that. Right. And hold on, all STDs don't show up. Look at me swaying, Mr. Dozier.
Well,
he like, you know what?
Y'all don't understand.
I'm just kidding. But most STDs, they take 6 to 8 weeks to even show up.
You're right.
So y'all literally you and your wife may literally be using that timetable and everything, but then you think about the man that your wife is sleeping with, and then his wife who she's sleeping with, and then all the women that he's sleeping with, and all the men that they're sleeping with.
That's where that transparency.
I'm not about to process everybody's lineage.
Right. No, I agree with you. I agree.
And STD possibilities. No, that shit is nasty.
That's where
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be
transparency comes into play at, though. That's exactly where that comes into play. I don't know what's up with that light, but that's where transparency and communication comes into play.
That light was telling you that I'm telling you the truth.
Oh, she took it.
Yeah. But you're telling the truth that we share already. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's not anything that we don't discuss.
Not a new truth.
Or take into consideration, in the polyamorous community, as well as within my own marriage, or with my partners, or her with her partners. Right. But also, that's the same thing with monogamy. You can have the same situation.
It's not the same level.
Oh, yes, it is.
Not nearly at the same level. Yes, come on, there's more partners in poly, so there's no way for it to be at the same level.
If that's the case, you have to omit cheating then, because people still cheat.
Yeah. Right.
And that's what I'm talking about.
And I'll say this.
Are you talking about you? And
I'm talking about me? I'm speaking in general. I'm speaking in general at this point. I'm saying that this could happen in monogamy as well.
Right. If we're talking about ethical monogamy and ethical non-monogamy, it should be the same thing as if we're talking about non-ethical.
No.
Really? Why wouldn't it?
Really, because when you're doing poly, it's more people equal more risk.
There's
naturally.
It's not always spoken about or talked about.
Hold on, wait. Let me finish. Your partner may cheat, you know what I'm saying, and put you at risk. But if your partner is openly always having sex with others, that puts in their partners are having sex and their partners are having sex and their partners are having sex. That puts you at more risk. But if you are in this, what takes you down to your intuition, connect with someone that you can intuitively connect with that's going to say, no, I'm monogamous with you. Check your birth chart, check their birth chart to know if they actually going to be monogamous. and know the times that they are potentially likely to cheat and make them run a test, pop quiz, mother lover, you have way less risk being in a monogamous relationship, having your partner get tested if you feel something, or than you do with poly. That's even a given just on mathematics alone.
I'll definitely agree to disagree.
There we go. I feel like just
because that's a real statement and a real comeback.
I feel like a child in all of this. In that,
I hear you on the risk criteria. I mean, that is real. You know what I mean? Right. I hear you on the risk. I think too. I would like to kind of spotlight and highlight what you were talking about earlier about the psychological effects, you know, of STDs and STIs, because I think that. And highlighting like the stigma, right? The stigma around it. And I think that that's a conversation that is often missed when we talk about STIs, is the stigma and the impact that the stigma has on our communication about STIs, on our practices, sexual practices and whatnot. And so I think that within not talking about the risk, but within the non-monogamous community or polyamorous community, not everybody, not all parts of it, but I think overall as a culture, there is a lot of value. There's a lot of priority around open communication and talking about these things, and not that, you know, yes, the reality is there is risk. Maybe even higher risk. I don't know. I don't know the mathematics on that.
But you said more people. Y'all are playing.
You said more people.
It's not going to be higher risk. If it's more people, it's naturally higher risk. Naturally. But because if you say with your one partner, they could be cheating. Well, with your one partner and your two partners, they both could be cheating. And they partners can be cheating. And come on, like, it's a given. That's not even an argument.
All I'm saying is we don't know when we talk about cheating and all that stuff. You don't have all of that information. So how can you accurately compare?
Right.
How can you accurately?
Because what I said, if you are dealing with a partner and you are an astrologer, you speak to an astrologer is going to be able to tell you if this person is cheating or not. If you are eating a clear and pure, clean diet, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to tap more into your mind to intuitively pick up on what your partner is doing or not. And all I'm saying, I'm not saying that you have absolutely no risk with being in a monogamous relationship. All I'm saying is you definitely have more risk when you're in a polyamorous relationship with all the open communication, because that open communication you have in a polyamorous relationship, you can have that open communication in a monogamous relationship and still not be guaranteed. But when you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, you also risk that even that much, 6 times, 7 times more. That's a fact.
Okay, I hear you. And I don't even want to try to argue against that or disagree with that also, but I do want to, you know, create space for, I guess, the misconceptions or the myths or, you know, stereotypes about non-monogamous relationships, because reality is we have just as much choice in non-monogamy as well. And it doesn't, I think there's this dangerous, you know, assumption that non-monogamy equals a lot of partners and multiple partners. And that's all that I want to clear up.
It doesn't. You know, I honestly, I'm just being honest. I've been in groups since Facebook started having groups, and I talk more about safe sex and the preventatives, you know, of STIs and STDs in polyamorous communities than I do in any other atmosphere. And I'm a Q, you know, and I'm in.
Yeah, you talk about plenty.
Yeah, we talk about sex all the time in my fraternities groups, you know, or just groups with as we call them, vanilla, you know, people, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's never a topic of okay, so where's your paperwork, or, you know, how can you prevent these, or just education on those with people for people who have STIs and STDs. Like, I've had way more conversation surrounding STDs and STIs in the polyamorous community than I've ever had in any monogamous community set at all, period, in my life, period. You know, so I'm not saying.
Okay,
I'm not saying let me say something to that. Let me just finish real quick. I'm not saying that it's not a higher risk, because you do have. It's just like insurance. You know, if you're driving your vehicle, you're at a higher risk for driving your vehicle, for having an accident or something taking place. You're at a higher risk. If you're non-monogamous, you're at a higher risk for contracting a particular STD or STI. Yep. So I'm not debating that by any means. I'm not saying that's the case. However, what I'm stating is that we do take precaution. We do make sure we have those open conversations to prevent anything that may happen. And like I said, in monogamy, it could happen as well. That's all. That's the only point that I was making.
I think you guys are all on the same page. Yeah. Just different.
No, we're not.
No, hear me though.
We are not on the same page. Well, let me close it out with one thing.
Real quick, Kat.
Okay.
And I think I lost it, but I'll keep talking until I find it again. The whole spirit of shit. What was he talking about?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Monogamous.
Yeah.
He was talking about how he speaks about STDs and STIs a lot.
Oh no. Okay. Risk was it. So
yeah.
By definition, love is a risk, right? Because you have to risk putting yourself out there to love. Like you have to exert energy to love. You've got to risk not communicating properly. You know, you risk so many things. So by definition, you know, polyamory, many loves, automatically means many risks. There's more risk naturally.
Right.
That's actually not complicated. That's like, oh yeah, right. Because you got, if there was enough risk between me and another human being, if I throw another human being in there, there's naturally going to be more risk because there's more energy. There's more humans now. So Kat, I think you're right there. But the other side of that coin of being right on that is the assumption, one, that everybody's monogamous relationship is the same or polyamorous relationship is the same in how they do risk mitigation, right? And that risk mitigation, there's a lot of communication in that. And if you're ever a part of a business or a corporation, like if there is no risk mitigation, the project fails. Like there's no way for it to succeed. And that I would imagine is the same in a monogamous relationship as it is a non-monogamous relationship, in that somebody, it doesn't have to be everybody, there's usually somebody delegated, but as a team, everybody, you know, has to check in with that project manager to make sure that that project stays on track to close out correctly. And in order to do that, you have weekly meetings, you've got a whole lot to do. Now, if you're just a self-employed business owner, you know, you got to do all the same things. You just do it all by yourself, right? And the risk there lies in on you, right? But when you share that risk with a team, if you can be in alignment, you know, and once again, there's so many. That's the one thing I love about poly that I've, you know, as I've been learning about it, is that there is no one poly. It's like, so, right. But it makes sense though. Cause I mean, is there one monogamy? I mean, there's terrible abusive husbands, whether it be emotionally or physical or spiritually. You know, there's, but on the other side of that spectrum, there's positive, you know? And so I don't know where I was going with it. I feel like you guys are both right in the sense that, yes, by definition, there's more risk, but also there's the freedom to actually be a more effective unit if you can communicate that so and do the proper planning and risk mitigation to make sure that things stay streamlined. That doesn't mean that the project's not going to fail, because people can still be human and drop the ball, but at least you have a better way to, you know, when you do risk mitigation, you're like, okay, we want this thing to work. What's the things that can go wrong, right? Somebody can cheat on somebody. Okay, what will we do if that happens? Right? That's part of the mitigation plan. And you gotta map out 100 different contingencies, you know? The more you invest that time and that love into that aspect of the relationship, the better you're off by the end of the project. Like we had another guest, Taz and Tay, Melissa, who started their relationship, or at least kind of in the early stages, I feel, created this care contract, right? A contract between each other on how to take care of one another, you know? And I thought that as a huge like planning tool, as an input, you know what I mean? Going into the relationship, like that gives somebody a fair assessment of what they need to do to take care of a person, you know? And most relationships, monogamous or non-monogamous, You know, I've never heard of that shit. So there's so many tools, and it's funny because in some of these communities, you know, you don't find a monogamy community, right? But in the poly community, you've had so many different experiences and different variations and challenges and tools, you know what I mean, to be used and employed. Not that that doesn't exist. I'm sure that, you know, there's Christian groups and marriage counseling, and there's all these different types of things. So it's not that they don't exist, but in managing multiple loves, it exists. There's a way, there's a strategy. It doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. You know, somebody could teach you how to start a business. That don't mean your business is going to be successful. You know, it really takes divine intervention, your own passions, your own perseverance. You know what I mean? A lot of sacrifice, compromise, all those different things, communication, vulnerability, you know, to develop. At the end of the day, nobody's done or should be done. And as soon as one partner is like, you know, done growing, then you're almost you're in trouble. you have to keep growing. You have to keep learning. You have to keep being a sponge.
Yeah. And then you be practical on your steps of escape. So, I like everybody's stance, I want to say. I love it. That's why I'm on this call. I still stand, and when I'm sharing, I'm not sharing to convert anyone at all. Right. I'm sharing to speak and stand my ground on monogamy, because as the poly society, community, these aliens came to planet Earth, y'all been trying, I'm just kidding.
You spot on though, because
oh my God. He's stupid. So ever since the poly community has sprung about, people have been attacking monogamy. Like even our brother Kuji said, you know, he was one of those poly thumpers. You know, like we're all poly. So it's just like the sidereal astrologers. They're like, yes, that's the sidereal system. I'm like, look, shut up. So my stance is just saying, no, monogamy is also a real thing for many people. For those of you out there catching the recording or watching, right? So what I want to go back to is when Kuji was speaking, though, he was talking about STDs and all of these things, right? And having multiple conversations. So that takes me back to the fact that I don't got time for this. I do not want to be talking about STDs all daggone day. That I have other things to do. I can study Spanish. Who the heck wants to talk about STDs multiple times a week? I don't want to talk about that. And I'm under the understanding that we create our realities with everything that we think, say, and do. Anything that you're in fear of or anything that you love. So the fact that the poly community talks that much about STD concerns me for my state of consciousness and on my behalf of the spectrum of reality. Now,
I got a scientific word.
Hold on, you gonna take go on ahead. Say what you gotta say, because I wrote my point down.
She said, "Girl, go ahead." I think it's self-mono polyamory.
Oh my gosh, whatever. So
self-mono polyamory. I got it.
Self mono polyamory. Okay, whatever. I got to break that down to take that title on. So my thing is, if I feel like that's a lot of wasted energy. Personally, there's books to read, there's stocks to invest in, there's other things to do than to talk about gonorrhea and how chlamydia make your pussy stink. I don't care. So the next thing, when it comes to loving a person and learning how to love a person, you know what I'm saying? Monzel, you were touching on that, like when Tay, I watched that live too. Tay and the beautiful sister, Taz, they were talking about the relationship and their Taz and their care package with each other, right? Or care letter, care note. I said care
contract. Package. Yeah, you good.
We like care packages too. You know I've been to jail. I talk about care package.
So good. You good. But
okay, so care contract, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I read people's care contracts to them all the time. It's written in their natal chart. How to love others, how you need to love yourself in retrospect to others, who's going to be the most ideal partner for you, what you will deal with in this particular relationship. Boom, bada, boom, ba, bam. It's there. I know how to love you. The stars told me to. Whatever the stars say, I have a quote. When you align with the stars, you live a life of a heavenly existence. So if I know my king's chart, what the star says, how this man needs to be loved, and I demonstrate that through the voice of God and from the voice of the creator, I'm going to love him to the umpteenth. But I only will be able to demonstrate that because my chart taught me first how to thoroughly love myself in completion and totality. So my love is overflowing, it's spilling all over the place. You know what I'm saying? For my mate. But also, I do agree with communication from the person, for them to speak and say what they need and share it out and, you know, write it down and all of that. And I actually do those things. I do write, like I wrote my potential, an 11 paragraph letter email, and make sure it was an email so it can always be pulled back up, you know, about who I am, and we could go even deeper. So I agree with all of those things. And that was all I had to say on that. No. Thanks for letting me share.
I will say, I definitely appreciate your stance, and I definitely come from that same position of not trying to convert anyone. But I definitely appreciate your stance on monogamy. You know, I'm one of those people, even like with religion, I'm one of those people that I respect you for who you are. I love you for who you are, where you are. You know, whatever your chosen path is in life, then I commend you. I want to help you get there if I can. Right. You know, and if not, you know, if I can, then hey, I'm gonna cheer you on from the sidelines. Right. You know, I never take a position of, oh, this is what you need to be doing. So, you know, I tell everybody that, hey, if you're monogamous, be monogamous. Yeah. If you're
and be the best. Be the best human being you can be.
You can be. Right. You know, because at the end of the day, I know me. And I know what works best for me, you know, and that's all that matters. And when people know who, like with you, Kateria, knowing who you are, I think that's a beautiful thing, because so many people don't know themselves to even know who they are and where they're going. Right. So just to hear a powerful, you know, goddess like yourself speak to who you are, you know, it speaks volumes in itself anyway. You know what I mean? Thank you. At the end of the day, I commend everyone for being who they are and standing, because one, it's not easy being polyamorous. It's not easy being vocal about polyamory as well. You know, like 9 years ago when I first started telling people this, like I said yesterday, I lost a lot of friends. You know, family looked at me kind of crazy. You know, so it's not necessarily an easy thing. So I commend anyone that is willing to live outside of the societal norms of who they are. You know, I commend that. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point. I also want to say that I'm not here to convert anybody as well. And that I love being, and again, I said this a number of times, Kateria, that I love that you're on here, because it's real easy to, like you said, you know, attack or bash monogamy. Yeah. And it's also real easy to sit with people who are, you know, alike, where we share in common how we love and things like that, as far as non-monogamy, and to like preach to the choir and just, you know, cycle our beliefs to each other. You know, those two things are easy to do. So to sit with somebody who wants to push up a little bit and question and, you know, and challenge and be curious, I think that's such a great learning opportunity and opportunity to connect with other people in deeper ways. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I wanted to throw in a little piece about the STDs really quick. Really quick. Before we go on to hearing Kateria celebrate non-monogamy. So
yeah, right. Monogamy.
Yeah, I just thank you for bringing this subject up, Kateria, because and I apologize for forgetting to bring it up because I know we talked about that, but thank you for bringing it up, because I think it's an important conversation to have regardless of relationship structure. And I just want to invite people not to just talk about it, but you were talking about the vibrations, or maybe not quite right. You were talking about creating our experiences or the vibrations or putting our energy into something. And I think the way in which we talk about STDs can sometimes cannot be helpful to us. And I think the same way that we talk about I know you mentioned sexual health. Somebody says sexual health. You're like, no, don't
health. Yeah.
Don't soften it up.
We want the health. We want the health.
Let's talk about STDs.
We want the sexual to be health, though. Healthy, healthy sexual.
And I so respect that. And at the same time, it is a part of sexual. Just the way we talk about, how we're gonna take care of ourselves around COVID or everything else. Like, I think sometimes the way that we talk about STDs just creates and develops this extra fear that I don't think is necessary. And so I don't think it's necessary, but that I think can again keep people from having these conversations. Not so that we need to spend hours and hours and hours talking about STDs, but just that we have them like we would any other conversation in our relationship. So thank you for bringing this up. I think there's a lot of fear around talking about this. There's a lot of shame and a lot of stigma. And so thank you.
Once again, I'm being the child again. Goodness gracious. Because I know I'm an old ass man.
I'm probably the oldest on here.
No, man. No. So one, you said the dental dam thing, and it's in my head. Every time I see dental dam, I see a dam and beavers and shit. And I don't know how this shit works.
It's Saran wrap.
I just need to Google it. I seen that on Booty Call, and I was like, that's silly. Nobody would ever do that. That don't make no sense, right? Like, he wrapped his whole body up. Nah. But as far as sexual health is concerned, I feel like a fool, one, right? Because I've had sexual partners before my wife, and never once did I think of testing. One, because those partners, for me, in those moments where it was divine, and I didn't think. And it's silly because anybody can get it. Don't matter who you are, right? The potentiality is there. And I've never gotten a test ever, which is pretty crazy. Me and my wife, as far as I understand, have never. And she's had one partner before me. I mean, this is probably TMI. But, at the end of the day, I just feel like, wow, that's a whole assortment of things that all adults who are sexually active should take seriously, and it's like, how do you, what's, do you just start testing and shit? Like, cause I don't like going to the doctors, like the whole COVID-19 testing. I ain't getting no testing. What you talking about? So like my background of growing up, like the doctor wasn't something that like, I don't know, like just health in general, we treated ourselves. We don't have to go tapping into anybody else or any institution unless, it's catastrophic. And at the end of the day, we try not to be catastrophic. And I don't know. I just feel like such a novice in that. I mean, as far as you guys, as far as I know, I could literally have a STI or STD and not even know. And
y'all talking about this poly stuff and he poly? See.
Well, he's not. But I mean, he is, but he's not.
That part.
Right. But he's not.
Right. Hold on. And we talked about this, right?
But you know what, though? If I can make a small interjection, I do want to say that's what he just explained is the main reason why we have the conversation as much as we do in the poly. Because one, so we started our group, Poly Black and Dating, 6 years ago. We went from one person with two people that started it. The two people that came in when we first started to having 2,500 members, you know what I'm saying? And we always have people coming and going. So yes, you need to continuously have that conversation about STIs and STDs because there are people out here who are not regularly getting tested, who don't even think about getting tested like he just
said. And I don't got time to raise no grown-ass men. They're women.
That's not raising them, though.
No, not at all.
Let me say this. I think that's kind of a contradiction what you just stated because you are an astrologist, right? Astrologer. Am I getting it right?
No, I'm not an astrologist. I'm an astrologer.
Astrologer. So you're raising men and women every day.
On that.
But you said I don't have time to be raising no man.
You got all the time.
On poly and getting tested. I don't got no time to be raising no man on getting tested or no woman.
But
on astrology.
You get me wrong though. You get me wrong. Like, and I hope you're not referring to me like being raised in the sense that I need someone to raise me to go get tested. It was literally just not not a concern for me in the sense that
I understand you.
Yeah,
but
no.
If you're coming into the poly community and now you gotta get tested 4 times a year.
No, I don't. Because listen, me being poly, me identifying as of recently as being a polyamorous man, right, in a monogamous marriage, right, does not mean that I'm out there sleeping with women that my wife doesn't know about or does know about, or that I'm kissing or courting anybody. I'm not. I just recognize that me, myself, I, one, have the capacity to love, right? And two, I can have compersion for my wife's love, you know, whether it be with my children, my mother-in-law, right? Her best friends and things like that. That doesn't mean that I'm actively just a sexual deviant all of a sudden because I'm poly and I'm in these poly groups and I'm seeking advice. I'm learning. I'm just a student of life, and I don't have a timeline. As long as the Lord got me walking.
Excuse me, I didn't want you to take it personally.
No, it's
I know that I was using you as the reference point, but it wasn't to be taken personally.
But I was talking, so it was in the context of where I was going.
You using me, not you. No, I'm just joking.
But it's all good. And but I see the beauty in poly communities in having these conversations, because I've never once in a monogamous, with all the married people that I know, or you know, even my parents, you know, have the conversation of like, oh, you need to get sexually tested and yada 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 yada. It's always, oh, you choose one person, you get married with them, and you stay with them for the rest of your life, even though you probably didn't. That wasn't the first person. It might have been somebody else before that, or maybe somebody after that. And you know what I mean? On the weekends, like none of that was a part of the conversation, right? And so me, one, as an adult, now seeing that there are communities of people who have, one, ethical, non-monogamous relationships that are healthy, and that there's communication. Like communication in a relationship, that's just not like the perfect formula that I've always seen growing up. You know what I mean? Like communication is something that only unique, powerful people in our communities would have, and you could just see it, and they just exuded it, and they shared it in the community, and you just got a little inkling of it and say, wow, that's amazing. But this dude's daddy, he don't talk to his mama. All he do is smoke, drink, come through, want something to eat.
And see, you know, that's exactly, with that being stated, when you're dating multiple people, you're going to have, you know, many more chances to risk having to deal with someone that doesn't have good communication and things of that nature.
Hold on. But no, I don't, because that's my choice. I wouldn't actually court someone who I couldn't have good communication with. That's transparent.
That's the point I was going to make as well. Like for me, when I meet someone, I make sure that we have a mental, spiritual, physical connection. So
just too much energy.
So, but for you,
and which makes sense as an empath that's tied to the stars and herself. It is too much. But there is the capacity for some men, right?
Yeah.
Because some or women, right? Because some men or women can't handle just one.
Yeah.
One is too much.
That's true. And I don't think it has to be that much energy. That's what I was saying earlier. You know, Kateria, you said that you were talking about, you know, STDs having a cure. Not a lot of people know that. I think very little people know that. And so I think because of that, you said it's serious. It's a serious thing, but it then becomes catastrophic, or then it's now this like bigger thing than it really has to be. And you know, and I think again, it's just because of the stigma and the misinformation and
not enough communication,
talking about it, not enough communication, and it being. And STDs being nasty and dirty and all this stuff, and I don't got time for it. And that's
you don't want to talk about it.
You go over there, you be that or whatever. I just think that is just not you, but the general conversation around that is just not helpful to that, and it does make it a lot of work, a lot of work that people don't want to do.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to do self work. So
shadow work, other right.
Exactly. So, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to each his or her own. You know, for me. You know, everyone chooses their path and what works for them. And that's, you know, ultimately what it boils down to, you know. And I respect anyone whose position isn't like mine, you know. But I know for me, connecting with someone, I'm not just going to connect with any old person. Like, let me rephrase. I can connect with anyone, but I'm not going to go in depth with just anyone. Right. You know, I'm going to make sure that you resonate with me mentally, right. physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Right. You know, that's just it. If we don't, then hey, I'm cool with just being with just my wife. Right. You know, I don't absolutely have to have you know, another partner. Right. You know, I'm not going to settle. Yeah. You know, I didn't settle when I settled for my queen, so I'm not going to settle for, you know, a partner either. You know, another queen that I acquire.
Same for self in that context. In that, in order for me to actively even be in a polyamorous relationship with anyone outside of my wife, they would have had to have courted my wife. As crazy as that is, right? Like, so the chances of that shit happening is like 1 in a billion. So I'll probably be in a poly-mono relationship until the wheels fall off, because that's just what it is, right? But I'm not trapped. You know what I mean? I love my wife.
Right.
My wife is everything, and I don't have enough time to love her fully. You know what I mean? Because I've got children and I've got a mission in my community and a mission, you know, of spirit. So it's fun to see everybody's perspective, man, because it's really just reflections of the Most High experiencing everything that we choose to experience, you know, and learn from and grow from. So
you know, Doja, you said something.
So I want to speak. In closing.
It's self monopoly amory. I know it. I know it. It's gonna be a thing. 2024. They be like, so apparently there's solo, mono, self.
Oh, and we could start a community of faithfulness to loving our partners deeply. That's shit, so divine. Okay.
That's the next move. That's a Facebook group. Let's get it.
Yeah, for real. I have it actually. Ebony Love for Singles. Okay, so what I wanted to say is that, first of all, this conversation has felt like a ritual for myself, given that it's a full moon in Sagittarius conjunct my Venus.
Strawberry.
So there's a strawberry moon, which is about relationships and stuff. And I took this call too for a challenge for myself as at the same time to test myself. And I am self-monopolyamorous when we talk about. I am super monogamous to a fault, okay?
She said to the third power.
I really am. I am not swayed. That whole poly thing sounds exhausting. And the other thing I wanted to say is that polyamory is a big part of it, and I know I'm about to get a lot of clap back, but not from your women that y'all humping on because they don't got it anyways. I'm just kidding. I'm told that was totally a joke. It was a real joke, okay? But this whole poly thing is big, and the biggest part of the conversation surrounds around sex, because most of this conversation tonight, we talked about sex.
We did?
And people, yes.
I disagree.
Play back the recording. So for me, I can love people. I don't need to hump on everybody that I love and adore. And it's too much sex. We did not talk enough about, and then when we talked about, this person can make up this part of me and that person can make up that part of me. I don't need anybody to make up any part of me. I can connect with people and not go there. So, but then we got to talk about all this STDs and this and that and safety and surrender. That conversation was exhausting alone.
What would you have wanted to add and include? That, I mean, what specifically?
Yeah.
Would you have wanted
I
more
love that you asked that question, Melissa. Ooh. Woo. Thank you. I love that you asked that question, because whenever I talk about monogamy in monogamous relationships, we go so much higher in the conversation than sex and STDs. Seriously. When I'm talking to a monogamous couple, we're talking about how this person reflected to me how I healed from this past trauma. And this person reflected to me, and he also did this for me. And now, we're connecting here, and I'm able to cook the meals that he liked. I used to be insecure about my cooking. I hear so much about an internal and psychological healing. And I realized I had to become in love with my skinny body to be able to even see my divine reflection. Because if I didn't fully love all of me, I wouldn't have been able to. When you're talking about monogamy, you start talking about that stuff, and then you say, he brings this skill to the table, and I bring this skill to the table, and this is how we're raising our children together. Not to say that we can't have these types of conversations in poly communities. I'm not saying that. But every time I have a polyamorous discussion with a group of people, we stay on the sex part and the jealousy and STDs. But when I'm talking to a group of people about monogamous relationships, it's always about like something divine, healing something. And, we're putting our children into Taekwondo. And I hear more of that. More like it climbs and it climbs and it climbs. So I just really want to be clear that I'm not saying that I don't hear any conversations in polyamorous relationships about higher things or building together, working together. This sister brings this skill to the table, that brother brings that skill to the table, and we all bring these different skills. I'm not saying that discussion doesn't happen, but we're literally about to get off the call right now, and we didn't go there. That shows that the topic of sex and jealousies and things like that dominates this vibrational frequency of the relationships. And that's something I don't have time for.
I think I spoke very little about
sex. If we have a part 2 of this, if you ever give us the honor to have a part 2 of this,
hold on.
I would love.
We gonna have to run back this tape.
Yeah. I think
little about sex.
I'm like, hold on. What show was I watching?
I don't know. If we ever have a part 2 of this, if we ever get to have you on here,
let's do part 2. Let's do it.
I invite you to take it where you need to take it.
Yeah.
Like honestly, because I think
that's what we want.
None of us had an issue of going there. It's just that we contributed where we went. I mean, take it where you need to take it. And I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna leave it there. And I just wonder if maybe there might be a part of you that wasn't able to receive what we felt or what I felt like we talked about, the love part and the deep, I'm not saying we hit the very topics that you wanted to talk about because I don't know what those were.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if when you tried to go there, if you pulled it back out and was like, oh, but this, or, I don't know.
I got y'all message. I'm telling you.
I just want to say something real quick, Kateria. For me, I think I spoke very little about sex, more about my connections and more about love. I very well speak about the depths of connecting and the higher self all the time on a regular basis, with any and everyone. It's talked about in the public. For me, I think I try to stay more with what was asked of me opposed to just venturing off into something different. Because I love speaking about all those things you spoke about. That's how I was raised. I was raised in a spiritual household, so it's not an issue of me not going there. And people that know me, I am very much sexually liberated and I speak about it. However, that's never my focus. That's why I stated that polyamory is not necessarily a sexual relationship. You can have non-sexual relations. I mentioned that earlier. So I'm not quite sure where the topic of sex was just embedded into the conversation, or jealousy, because I spoke very little about jealousy as well, or needing to be completed. In fact, I stated that I don't need to be completed by anyone. So, but again, I definitely respect your position.
All I'm saying is that a long portion of the conversation, we talked about STDs and we talked about sex and for a wide portion of it. That's all I'm saying.
But you kept bringing it back to that.
I honestly,
well, it was a topic that you asked to talk about. So I wanted to make sure that
I smoke a lot of ganja. Now, granted, I love all of y'all.
Yeah,
we gonna have to run this tape back, and I want to do the show where we watching the show.
We watch it
and we commentate.
That would be so amazing.
And you she's right. She caught it at 2:05. You did say that.
Right. I don't even think we'll get past 10 minutes of it though.
Oh, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
I love it.
I appreciate y'all.
You know what it's gonna feel like for me? It's gonna feel like when I be making all these predictions, on Facebook and Instagram talking about, yep, see, told you. I told you. I knew it. I told you.
Right.
That's what it's going to be like.
I'm looking forward to it, though. It literally sounds like fun. I'm bringing popcorn.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, I'd love to hear how you celebrate Coogi and non-monogamy, and maybe what you.
It's that time. It is.
In closing, right? So I really appreciate what Coogi was talking about with the non-attachment stuff. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate understanding different aspects of yourself and how they could be reflected in other people. I just don't have to have sex with all the different aspects of myself. Anyways, and
you know what it is? She's a very sexual being who's projecting, but who has not found that divine. Who has not found that divine one. So she's like, "Fuck, Ollie." I'm joking with you, girl. You better stop.
Sorry.
So
solo, poly, mono.
Hold on, wait. But you need to be, Miss Cleo, little brother. You are correct. I am a very sexual woman, intensely.
Yes.
And that's probably why I don't do poly, because I'm like, the things that I do, no,
you don't have the energy.
I am. It's too much.
You can't do 20.
And I like the connection to always be full of passion and fire. And I also don't be wanting people on me all day. I'm super sexual, but I don't have a lot of sex.
Right.
That's another thing. I'm not going to be humping somebody every day, every single week of my life.
The exact same way.
Yeah.
All the time. I cannot. I don't.
That makes sense, because you build that up, and that's why you're able to give what you do give when you do give it all of what you give. You know?
Exactly. It's a whole orchestrated show.
Right.
But I loved Coogi. I was about to say that little nickname that they give you. I loved Coogi's, but it is corny at this point, right?
No.
So, I mean, I'm sure everyone is already thinking it. So,
never corny.
I love Coogi's points on the non-attachment, and I loved his points on the self-love, the intensive self-love and self-reflection. And just looking at the brother, I can see that he has a great level of confidence within himself. I love how he is able to allow his woman to be in a relationship with another man, and he's solid on his square as a man and being able to pleasure his queen. Yeah, that's very powerful. And he just told on himself that he got Nigeria somewhere up in there. You know what I mean? So I give you points for that. Okay, good job. Now, just the whole conversation, the stance. I do speak to a lot of people that are polyamorous, and I don't feel that they're as, what would you say, educated or experienced on the topic as you all, except for you, Mr. Dozier, but as you both, Queen Melissa and Coogi, King Coogi. And so I could really appreciate your both perspectives thoroughly. It's glorious. Yet and still, like I stated before, I have come across a bit defensive in this conversation because I feel that monogamy has been so trashed, and I'm just one of those people that say, and in my experience,
I think she says more in general.
In general,
telling me that I'm supposed to be poly.
Yeah, I don't think she mean like in this conversation, because
not in this conversation. Yeah. In general, I get a lot of people telling me you're not really monogamous. You're a lot. Even guys that I date.
Oh, gotcha.
Even guys that I date, they're like, you're not really monogamous, you know. Oh, well, I can share you with another person, or da. Like they're always alluding to it being okay, and it's like, yo, like why can't we just be together?
Yeah.
Oftentimes men think that I want to be with other men. Oftentimes, more often than they're talking about being with other women.
There's a lot of human beings in the world. A lot of them are also pretty whack.
And that's another reason why I can't be poly. But if I would have said that, y'all would have thought I was fucking egotistical.
I would have got it.
I would have thought that. Don't make that assumption about me, please.
Right.
No, I'm joking.
But I will say that you know what? Never mind.
No, say it, brother. You done started. You better get it.
No, because it's actually 2:53 here my time.
Oh, you. Good night, sir.
So, but, yeah,
Yeah, there's not that many interesting people that take me there.
Right.
Most people, I'm just like, yeah, so let's talk about your mother issues. And I turn into a counselor, so.
I can dig it. Well, with that being said, thank y'all both. I just want to give another round of applause. I mean, everybody out there.
Thank you.
These two humans, I mean, there was some rounds in there. There was definitely a couple rounds. Shots fired. But we all good.
Love shots.
Shots of love. Shots of love.
I'm all about love. Love shots.
Beautiful things. Want to have y'all back. I do want to do the tape. We're
gonna have to ask the audience, like, what they thought and if we should come back and win and stuff like that.
Oh, they ready. They ready for it.
Yeah, since you had your followers watching some of it, I would love to hear if anybody shares with you what they picked up from it. What they hated, what they loved. Yeah. So if you feel up to it,
let me know.
Yeah, I love to hear.
Go check out Twin Flames video too. By the way,
what'd you say?
I said tell them go check out Twin Flames video.
Yeah, man. All that. Well, for sure. With that said, it's almost 2:00. Just want to send love. Melissa, did you want to leave with anything before we cut out?
Well, I was actually just going to put it back on Kateria and Kuji to see if there was anything that you wanted to share, anything you have coming up, or I know you did share a couple of things already, but just really give you the space to let people know how to follow you, how to keep in touch with you. So
all that jazz. So everyone, my name is Kateria. Kateria knows. I know some things and not all things. And you can check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Kateria knows across the board.
Bless.
I have the Real Family Reunion, Return of the Gods coming up. And that's coming up in August. I'm also an astrologer. I read all kind of astrology charts, too many to name. You can inbox me or you can check out my website, astrologicschool.com, book a session with me from my website, or you can take some of my courses with me as well, astrologicschool.com. Thank you all so much for allowing me this time in this space and just to talk out my feelings. It's like a therapy session. I appreciate y'all both. Y'all are beautiful. I appreciate you, Kuji. Your music is dope. It's amazing. I'm gonna be bumping that song. I can't wait till that other song that you were talking about comes out. I'm gonna be checking for you. Like I stated, I already subscribed, and everything was to a nice quality. And also, I love how you named out everybody who assisted in that video. When you were naming out everyone, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so poly and it's so beautiful. And I totally didn't name out anybody. You said your team did a good job. I say, I know they did. Okay, let's go. But I will say, I got my commercial done by Najita Ankh on Facebook, and it's really her husband. He does really, really incredible work. Yeah. And so shout out to him and her. That was her voice in the video, Najita Ankh. And she's from Nigeria. And, and then I added my elements in there too. And then my team, they critiqued it at first and they're like, oh, let's put this in. So my sister, Herb Alchemist, Koshana Jones, Sarah Henderson, Shayola, and Asaki. Thank all my team. So, yes.
Dope. That's dope. For me, again, I'm Kikuji Chagalia. On social media, I am, on Instagram, I'm Kikuji Chagalia the Lover. On Facebook, I'm under my name, Kikuji Chagalia, right? I am working on a album now to kind of promote and celebrate love, and just kind of get back to that real passion that I believe has just been missing in music. So be on the lookout for that. But as of right now, Twin Flames is available on all music platforms. It is on YouTube under Kuji Rai Twin Flames. So go and check it out if you get the opportunity. The Return to Gods, like I said, watching that commercial, I'm like, yes, I'm in the place. Yeah. I think it's dope. I really look forward to being in the presence of greatness. I always aspire to be around, like-minded people, but I also always aspire to be around greatness as well, so I'm definitely looking forward to that event.
She coming to you.
Well, I'm saying I'm looking forward to being a part of that event because it's gonna be. I don't even have to travel.
You ain't gotta travel, bro. No ticket.
That's even better. I'm only 30 minutes from Stone Mountain, so bam. Right. But no, and I will say this too to you guys. Any way that I could be of any of assistance to you guys and support. Because I am Pan-African first and foremost, so I believe in promoting, celebrating, and connecting and supporting my people. So if I could be of any service to you guys, I'm always with it. If I could be a friend, to you guys, I'm definitely open to that as well too. So thank you guys for having me, listening to my perspectives on polyamory, my perspectives on love. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you both. Thank you, Coogi. Thank you, Kateria. Thank you, Mr. Doja.
Beautiful humans, lovers and friends. We're still here. And it's that time. So y'all have a good night. Y'all stay tuned. We'll follow up. I'm going to play some music. This is the actual track I was telling you about, Coogi.
I forgot one small shout out.
Yeah, go ahead with it.
I forgot to shout out my shirt. It
Damn!
Says, polyamory look good, which was done by my wife.
And that's a nice shirt.
My wife, her boyfriend is Black Poly Tees on Instagram.
Dope.
He does really amazing work. So if you're polyamorous and interested in, or actually, he doesn't just do polyamorous designs. He does any design. So, Kateria, you guys need shirts for the Return to Gods. He's definitely a great person to hook up with, and he has great prices. He believes in networking as well too. So,
love it.
I had to throw that out there.
Hey, that's a nice shirt too, man.
Thank you. And it's purple and gold, so I got to represent the kids.
Yeah, represent the color. The colors is right. Well, I'm gonna take out this episode with this song "Dream," which is 2 + 2 = 3 is literally the name of the title. But love y'all. Have a good one.
Y'all too.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
I had this dream, and you were in it. Yo, when we first met, energy was the best, never went back. Persistence back then was just fact. Built us a kingdom, thank God for that. All praise to the Most High, blessings most fly. When honoring the queens and creators love I, and I'm the strive to try to stay alive. In Babylon's trenches, even the men cry, even the sins die. When love is multiplied, consent for you and I. Now we ride or die, never fall off. Prepare for the call, she keep it real, but won't get too lost. Yeah, and never do flaws, we royal. Oh, she needs me to be free. We. Oh, she needs we free to be free. When to become free. She said she can do it by herself, but I can tell Queen needs help. So I push on, build up a throne, keep it secure, love in the home. I can't do it by myself, so the Queen said she could help. Keep building on, love that is strong, multiple times, multiple loves. Oh, she needs me to be free. We. What if I wanted you without her knowing? What if she had you without me owning? Any input, the only output I'd receive would be the feeling of ecstasy of just knowing. For her and you and I are one, like water flowing. What if we could ascend any preconceived notions of reality, of what you and I could be, of what she and I should be, building nations and healing villages, the highest frequency, a reflection of what this should be, the most highest kingdom here in we, here on earth, in it but not of it, coming and going, ebb and flowing. You see, Yah was a queen first, giving birth to the universe, the earth, the heavens, and all in between, making truth of the unseen, magical beings like unicorns and mermaids, you know. Under the sea, darling, it's better, down where it's wetter, take it from me. What if? What if when my love multiplies, there is no law of the land, laws of the man, no hate just fans, the fantasy real, but the real disillusion. All patriarchies die, and all dogs don't go to heaven, but most kitties do, 'cause they have 9 lives to try and always land on their feet. Now, what if all I could see was us in your hands, the plan to expand consciousness, contract love, and yet expand again, the rhythms of heartbeats, the Big Bang, over and over and over and over and over and over again. What if when every time my eyes kiss your skin, the breath you felt whispered desires in between the moments of pleasure, the touch you felt elevated your collar, moons touching home deep within you to that spot. You know that spot deep near your heart that can't sleep at home alone, that spot that makes your soul yearn to express deep down in your gut, where not to impress you but to undress you in the facade of your imagination of not wanting to be you here, finally free, and me finally inside you, we like the sea, inception. What if you like me for me? And not for what I could be, but just as I am. And what if she could love you like I can, but not as her man? And I mean, what if we just didn't give a damn? Could we be? What if?
Twitter.